guys.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
It's about 5 to midnight here in Bendigo, Australia, and we're just about ready to head down to the table. All the players are currently sitting down, and they're handing out the boxes at the moment.
Exciting time.
As you know, our feature person for the deck box opening is Lewis Adams, and he's going to be opening green. So that should be really interesting to watch him go about looking at his thought processes to put together his deck. What's your favourite card in the set?
For myself, it's pretty tricky at the moment. I've really liked some of the white cards. I like some of the old reprints that have come in. But just looking through everything just before, I feel like I'm changing on a regular basis. So the more cards I see, the more cards I get to be familiar with. At the moment, the Titan, the Black Titan, I just really like the flavour of the card in general. I'll see if I can bring it up.
Yeah. So coming into Standard, you're looking to play Black Devotion for a bit?
Possibly so. I like the idea of that being a deck again. It was very strong when it was available last time around. Just have a quick look and try to locate the card so I can bring up some of the stats.
So it's 3 black and 1.
Yeah.
For a 5/5 Titan.
That's right. As long as your opponent controls no other creatures, he's indestructible as well. So it could go into even a blue-black control deck if that's a viable deck.
Does it have any play post the rotation of Theros?
Hard to say because we obviously don't know what that landscape looks like. But I think so. I think it could. I think that's going to be one of the few cards, a bit of a sleeper in the format.
Yep.
We're also talking about Liliana, and we'll look at the Planeswalkers in a bit more depth a bit later. But we're just having a bit of a chat off air. I think Liliana is going to be a definite. It's hard to say it's a sleeper because obviously Planeswalkers are quite popular these days and always getting played. But in terms of how powerful Liliana ends up being is going to be yet to be seen. But it looks really good.
Liliana has a lot of synergies with cards that are already in this set.
That's exactly, or in the format.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Because you've got the tutor where you can tutor for 5, adds 3 to bring Liliana straight into play. You've got Liliana and the 0-drop artifact where you can drop Liliana, drop the 0-drop artifact, flip Liliana straight away, get your 2/2 zombie, and then do something cool with the Planeswalker.
Exactly right. So there's some pretty cool interactions already.
Yep.
Another big elephant or goblin in the room is Goblin Piledriver. There's been a lot of talk about that online already, and Goblin Piledriver had a lot of success when it was printed previously in Onslaught.
Yep.
And I think it'd be very exciting to see it back getting played again. Whether or not it finds a home in Standard at the moment, probably. I mean, it definitely will. It's
going to get played in Standard and or Modern.
Red decks, and there's also he's Portal in the Outburst, Goblin Rabble Master, Piledriver. It's great.
You'll see Collecting Company goblins in Standard. You'll see Ether Via goblins in Modern.
Yeah.
But I just hear them outside, Wayne. Sorry to interrupt you.
You're right.
So we're going to flip to our table camera.
And the saga begins, guys. Let's get into opening some Origins packs.
And we've got a note on the table. It appears. It says hi Twitch from Cohen and Lewis. So you've got Cohen on the right there with the MTG Grinders playmat, and we've got Lewis on the left with the Guff playmat.
Yeah. Just a reminder, guys, if anyone's tuning in at the moment, MTG Grinders is only on Facebook and on WordPress, so you can check out all our articles and videos on those 2 sites.
We do hope to ramp up to a website later in the year. However, hi Lewis. However, that's still being worked on. So we'll look at that when it comes to it.
Okay. So while they're still getting ready, Dave, what are your thoughts on the set? Do you have a favourite card?
Oh, Starfield Nix. I'm an Enchantress player from way back, and this is basically Opalescence and Replenish got together, had a baby, and Starfield of Nyx is in. The biggest issue I've got is the fact that it's printed now and wasn't printed in Theros block. I'm actually afraid that there won't be enough time for people to figure the puzzle out with Starfield of Nyx. That the time between now and the rotation of Theros block won't give Starfield of Nyx enough time to shine as a card.
I think that with this card in particular, I think Dave's actually been playing the, I don't know what you would call it, the enchantment deck, the white enchantment, ghostly prison deck, I guess you might say. The white prison deck in Modern.
Yep.
And having quite a bit of success with it around our local parts, must say. And I think that this card could actually help speed that deck up a little bit, because you're getting so many enchantments into play. I think it really gives you an opportunity to really close that game out quite quickly. Because you're going to have that much stuff in play at the time. You're going to the opportunity to win once as soon as you play this is going to be pretty much a seal the deal.
People are saying that in Standard this card doesn't have a chance because of Dromoka's Command. I tend to disagree. Dromoka's Command may get the 2-for-1 with this card, but if this card sits out for any more than 2 turns, you're going to get value with it.
Plus, like I just mentioned, like you can almost play it as a as a finisher. Like as soon as you play it, you win the game.
Yep.
Because you're gonna have all your other enchantments in play, and I just don't know if there's enough supporting enchantments in Standard at this point in time. Like there's a few in this set, don't get me wrong, but whether or not there's enough to actually support a fully fledged deck with this as a win condition, I'm not too sure.
The other card I really like in Standard is what they're calling the New Cataclysm.
New Cataclysm.
Now I just can't remember the name of it, but I'm just trying to find it on our list here. Tragic Arrogance.
Tragic Arrogance. Let's have a look at that. Okay, so
2 white and 3 for a sorcery.
Yeah.
For each player, you choose among the permanents for that player opponent controls.
Yep.
And artifact, creature, enchantment, and planeswalker. Unlike Cataclysm, it doesn't hit lands. Then each player sacrifices all other non-land permanents.
And I think the key here, and look, I actually made this mistake I did a set review for white, so you can check that out on the Facebook page. And when I first read Tragic Arrogance, I actually thought that the opponent or each player chose from their own pile.
Which is the way Cataclysm did work.
So I think that, looking at it in this context, when you actually get to choose as the owner of Tragic Arrogance, I think it makes it a lot better.
So you get to choose your Siege Rhino and leave them with a Manador.
That's exactly right. So there's quite a lot of upside to it, and it's a lot better than I initially gave credit for, that's for sure.
The other thing is you can build your deck around it by making sure that you have a Planeswalker, you have an enchantment, you have an artifact, you have a creature. So you're playing all of those archetypes to keep, where your opponent may not be, so they keep no artifact, they keep no enchantment, they keep no Planeswalker, and they're left with one creature.
Absolutely right. You can really take advantage of that card if you build your deck accordingly.
Yeah, so I think that's got a lot of play. Goblin Pile Driver, obviously, we've already mentioned, but gee, it's worth mentioning again.
Absolutely.
That thing was just a powerhouse in Onslaught. I played Affinity way back then, and Goblins was mad. Yeah. If you weren't playing Affinity, you were playing Goblins or Tooth and Nail.
Yeah, pretty much. They were pretty much the 3 decks basically that were around at the time.
The new Elf, the Elf Champion, basically, the legendary one, is also pretty good. I think we'll find play in Standard.
I think so. Not so much in Modern. He's a bit slow for Modern.
I think as a 4-mana, he misses the Collected Company drop, and the Elvish Champion doesn't.
But he probably goes nicely into the Singleton Elves deck.
Absolutely.
Commander, potentially.
Yes.
I think if you're going to play an Elf-based, Singleton deck, then I think you're definitely going to there. The more Lords, the better in that situation. One of the other cards I'm really, really big fan of, and it actually crept up on the format when it was available last time, which is Gaia's Revenge. This card is actually really, really strong. An 8/5 with haste, can't be countered, and can't be targeted by non-green spells or abilities from non-green sources. Like, this card will come into Standard, and it may not be a big hit at first. This will be a finisher of choice, I think, the next after the rotation.
Is it a main deck or is it a sideboard deck?
It could be either, depending on the decks that are around at the time. Yep. But I think if there's something like a green-red deck that's going to be available, I think Gaia's Revenge could make an appearance basically, and be quite a powerful card.
And there's nothing like Beast Within in the format.
No, it's not stop it. That's exactly right. From a non-green perspective, an 8/5 with haste that can't be countered is really, really strong.
Yep.
If you look at Ataka at the moment, Ataka comes into play does 5 damage, but doesn't have haste or anything, so that's a big difference and can be countered.
Sure. Looking back at our table, Lewis there, you can see he's got his green box there, and he's just checking it out. We'll keep talking about some cards in the meantime. What do you like in blue?
Blue. Okay, so having a look at Blue, there's a couple of cards that I think that could help some of the control decks in the format. Look, Blue.
For me, I like Days Undoing. It's not really a control-y card,
Yep.
but I'm looking to play maybe 2 of them into Affinity,
Yep.
where I can just refuel my hand. I can then just spew my hand out again, and basically keep going.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
It's cheap enough that I can cast it on turn 2, turn 3 when I want to,
Yep.
and just refuel my hand, spew it out again, and go hammers. I don't know if it's going to be played in Standard,
Yeah.
purely because it refuels both people's hands
Yep.
and allows your opponent realistically to go first.
Yeah, definitely.
So I don't think it's going to overtake the Treasure Cruise and the Dig Through Time, which is where I think it fights
the
against
premium card draw spells.
Yeah.
Look, there's also a couple of other cards that I don't mind. I don't mind Clash of Wills as a counter spell. We've seen cards like similar to this, like Condescend. I know Condescend was obviously a great card, but there's been cards that are similar that have been played in constructed format. So I think that could eventually see some play. I also really like Disciple of the Ring. Now, depending on how the format moves, Disciple could be a finisher in control.
It's an interesting card, isn't it? It's got a lot of text on it.
It is. So for those of you that don't know the card, Disciple of the Ring, if you want to check it out on any of the spoiler pages, but Disciple of the Ring, it's a 3/4 creature, human wizard that's 3 colours, 2 blue. Pay 1, exile an instant or sorcery card from your graveyard, and then you get to choose 1. Counter target non-creature spell unless its controller pays 2, so you get like a bit of a counter spell. Disciple of the Ring gets +1/+1 till the end of turn. Tap target creature or untap target creature, which is really quite a handful of abilities, so not bad. One of the other cards I wanted to discuss is also the new kind of the card draw spell. It's an instant, which is really key. Just find the card itself. You basically get to draw 2 cards, 3 mana, 2 colours, 1 blue. Draw 2 cards, discard a card, and it's an instant, which is a really, really key point. I think. Just find the card for you.
And we can see on the table there while Wayne finds a card that we've got a bit of a waiver there from a group called Creative Frame. There's actually a bit of a documentary being filmed tonight, or a part of a documentary based on fantasy. And one part of obviously fantasy is Magic the Gathering. So that's something cool that's also happening. When we find out more, we'll obviously be posting links about that on our Facebook page.
That's right. And we're talking about the white and nerdy type of fantasy, not the other kind of fantasy. But yeah, that card was Artificer's Epiphany, which is 2 colours, 1 blue, draw 2 cards. If you control no artifacts, discard a card. So it's a conditional, like some of the other cards like Compulsive Research, that sort of thing. But I think it's definitely a card that will see some play.
Now, yes, we can see that, Lewis. Well done. Well done. This is on the box there. It's green. We know it's green. If you're talking to the camera microphone is turned off, so we can't hear you. We do apologise with all the background noise. We've done our best to limit it, but as we said, this is our first time doing this, and so we're learning from our mistakes at this point in time. We also obviously have Cohen on the other side, which is great because we get to see 2 box openings at the same time. So
Cohen's actually just fresh back. He just travelled up to Sydney for the RPTQ?
Yes.
Regional PTQ. He finished around the mid-20s, so he had an okay event, but didn't quite go as well as he expected, which is a bit of a shame. And,
he actually drafted a really good deck too.
Yeah.
Unfortunately got a game loss for a deck registration error, which is
a bit of a word crime, that one.
Yeah, it's a mistake we can all make. And there's Cohen's colour. Cohen's chosen red with a Chandra Nala. Some people think she's the worst planeswalker. Some people think she's the best.
It's an interesting one. Let's bring up the card.
I mean, it really is a great design. Let's talk about the design of the new planeswalkers. The fact that you have to trigger them, you have to have their spark ignite before you can get the planeswalkers, and so you've got that flip card there. Do you think they'll be reprinting the token cards like the old Delver of Secrets ones where you put the card in there so you don't have to take the card out of the sleeve, turn it over and put it back in?
It's hard to say. I mean, look, it's definitely a possibility that could occur. The guys at the table at the moment just messing with us at the moment.
Yes, we understand there's a 20-second delay, Cohen. That's fine. That's in case Wayne swears.
Yeah.
We can quickly kill the stream. We're gonna take that pen away from them, I think.
Okay, so yeah, all right, back to Chandra. So let's have a look at her ability. So Chandra, whenever you cast a red spell, untap Chandra, the Fire of Kaladesh. Tap Chandra, Fire of Kaladesh deals 1 damage to target player. If Chandra has dealt 3 or more damage this turn, exile her, then return her to the battlefield, transform under her owner's control. Now, for those of you that remember goblins, talking about goblins and goblin pile driver, Goblin Sharpshooter was an absolute beast of a card, and to be honest, while pile driver did its fair share of work, Sharpshooter did as well. And Chandra reminds me a little bit like that, similar ability where you cast a red spell, untap Chandra. Whereas I think, if I remember correctly, Sharpshooter was when a creature died, untap it. And you got to tap it again.
Yep.
So it was quite a powerful effect, if that is correct. And then you get to flip Chandra, and you get Chandra the Roaring Flame.
Before you get into that, what's the easiest way of flipping Chandra? From the way I understand it, is it's attack, deal the 2 damage, cast some sort of red spell, untap it, tap it, do your 1 extra damage, that's 3 damage, flip, and then you can do an extra 2 to something.
Absolutely, and I think the fact that you've got that as plan 1, I mean you've got a backup plan if you can cast 3 spells in 1 turn.
Yeah. Another way to go is just attack Titan Strength. There's 5 damage, flip.
Bam, absolutely. So you've got a lot of different options for Chandra to be able to get her damage through and flip into Chandra the Roaring Flame. Now, one benefit of this particular Planeswalker is it does come in with 4 loyalty, and that's always been a good thing. It can go immediately up to 5, whilst potentially killing, doing 2 damage, and who knew it, you can kill your opponent.
The other thing I sort of see with Chandra is if you're attacking for 2 damage, you've already got a greater board presence than your opponent.
True.
So when you then untap, do the 3rd damage, flip it over, it shouldn't need that much protection anyway, because the way I see it, you're already ahead.
Yep.
If you're not already ahead, you're not attacking with Chandra in the first place.
Yeah, that's exactly right, and that's where you are trying to ping them instead. But I think the other benefit is that pingers historically for 3 mana are 1/1s.
Yep.
And the fact that she's a 2/2 will actually help her as a card herself in a limited format. Because little, what are they called? Timmies? Or not Timmies, but...
Johnny's?
No, what was it called? The name they used to
Tims.
call Tims?
Yeah, Prodigal Sorceress.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Tims.
So they've all been 1/1s. And I think the fact that Chandra's a 2/2 makes her in a class of her own, actually.
Cohen, that pen is not a knife. It's probably not going to do that.
So guys, I'm not sure, but this may be the first live streaming of MTG Origins to grace the Twitchosphere.
If it is, that's pretty exciting. And before we get much further, yay us, by the way, and yay you for tuning in.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate it. So we're cracking some packs here, guys. So we're going to try to focus on Lewis here. It's going to be a little challenging because we'll see both sets of cards, but it will be great. We'll get to see what's going on.
They're going to show us what's in the packs there. Now, what have we got there? Is that the elf?
Yeah, I believe so. It looks like the foil legend.
The foil elf that we've got there. And there's the card that I was talking about. With,
yes, they do. Yeah, which is quite good.
And Lewis is giving us a nice look here at a whole bunch of cards.
Yeah. Okay, so they've each gone through their colour packs, and now they're just going into the sorting, obviously. So,
So how do you go about opening your box and constructing your deck? What's the first thing that you do?
Yeah, well, from a personal perspective, I always obviously like to look at what rares you're opening up.
And Lewis has got the 7/7 artifact monster there.
He's prepared.
Which is the Mage Ring Responder.
Indeed. What's the card that Cohen actually has open, the red foil that he's got on top of his set there?
Let's have a quick look at our reds. That is Embermore Hellion. It's 4/5 trample for 2 red and 3.
Oh yeah. And what's the other card? Is that Molten Vortex? I think it is. The foil.
The black one is.
No, up at the top.
No, this is the Hellion.
Oh, is it?
And
Okay.
this is Demonic Pact.
Oh, right, I'm with you. Yeah, nice one. Very cool.
As we've got there.
So yeah, look, in terms of deck construction for myself when it comes to limited, very similar to these guys. Like initially, I'll probably have a quick look at what rares are available, just to get an understanding of what bomb cards you might have opened up, and then definitely a color sorting to go through the steps of working out what. Obviously, first of all, what colors do I have the most of?
Yeah.
What's gonna? Yeah, and you look at playables. You try to work out playables. You even cut cards that you don't think are playable or you don't think would make the final deck, and then you can look at what colours might work together. Have you got any synergies in your card book?
So I think what we're looking like, I know we're meant to be focusing on Lewis here, but I think what we've got with Cohen over here is he's got his absolute bombs up the top. Mm-hmm. Then we've got the maybes, and then we've got what he's not looking at down the bottom.
Yeah.
The Hellhound there, I think, is a mistake in the I don't want to play.
It depends on what he's looking at, though.
Yeah.
It could just be that they're multicolored.
Oh, that's true.
Because
absolutely. Yeah, it's really 5 colours. Yeah, you're absolutely right there.
But I do think he has separated some bomb cards in particular. The ones at the top are definitely cards that he's highlighted.
And he's opened Tragic Arrogance there as well, which is one that I spoke about earlier, the new Cataclysm.
If you haven't checked out white, guys, I'm not a big white player generally, but I definitely like white in this limited format. I'm not so sure about it in sealed. I think you need to be a bit bigger in sealed in terms of your creature base, but I do think that white can be quite a fast deck. And look, it's got some flyers.
Oh, and Lewis just opened Nissa. Sorry to interrupt you there.
No, he's just talking about Nissa early on, so he'd be pretty excited to open Nissa. So he's living the dream.
He's certainly got the one card he wanted to open with Nissa there. Fantastic. And that was just in a random pack too.
Yeah, exactly.
That wasn't out of his seeded pack.
Yeah, he's got
Nantuko Husk.
Good old Nantuko Husk.
Yep, nice reprint there.
Sacrifice a creature. It's +2/+2 till end of turn. Okay.
So Lewis is just going through the sorting into colours process here. He'll get some sort of idea of what he doesn't want to play.
Indeed.
We're
what was happened to black? Was it black rare? Is that Languish?
Just trying to find the picture here.
Yeah, Languish.
Yeah, so he's opened a Languish as well. Excellent.
So he's off to a great start.
So he may even go green-black, which is
what he was talking about.
Which is what he was talking about. If he opens up the Drain Life Elf, which is Shaman of the Pack.
Definitely be a nice addition to his deck if he can do that.
He can definitely look at that green-black there. And that's I can't even pronounce the name of that card.
Alright, let me give it a shot.
It's Alhamera's Archive. I'm going with that.
Alhamera's Archive? Yeah, I think
Alhamera's Archive? We're going to go with that? Oh, I don't think it's playable at all in Constructed or Limited, to be completely honest.
For those that don't know that card, it's a legendary artifact. If you would gain life, you gain twice that much life instead. So probably have to be playing white if you're going to play this card. If you would draw a card, except for the first one you draw in each of your draw steps, draw 2 cards instead. So nice and complicated for new players.
Yeah. If you're playing this card, you're playing Commander.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. It's a fantastic card in Commander. It's terrible everywhere else. So Lewis
he's going straight into the green. He's got Titanic Growth, I believe. Titanic Growth, and also he's got a Reclaim in his pile there.
Reclaim's not terrible in this format.
No, I mean it gives him a double chance of using his Planeswalker if it gets to that.
Oh, absolutely. That's a good way of looking at it.
One card I think he'd really like to open is Rock's Maulers. Like Rock's Maulers is great common, really powerful common, renowned 2/4/4 with trample for 5 mana. Really powerful card.
Now I'm trying to figure out what he's opened 2 of.
2 of. And he's got, they look like archers. Let's have a quick look. And don't forget, he got the foil green elf too, the elf legend.
Wild Instincts.
Wild Instincts.
So 1 green and 3. Target creature you control gets +2/+2 until end of turn. It fights target creature. So that's a good one because it's only a sorcery, but it's green removal.
That's right. And he also got 2 Timber Pack Wolves as well, which work really well together considering they get +1/+1 for each other. And they're a 2/2. They're a 2/2 bear.
I think they're better in Limited than Sealed though.
Yeah.
Because you could potentially draft 5 or 6 of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I think The foil elf is definitely going to get played. I think he fits in the deck nicely. You can see him on top of the pile there as well.
Quickly ducking over to Cohen here. It looks like Cohen's going the red-white. So he's going with the new Cataclysm there. Red obviously being his main colour. And I think he's looking at white. Lewis is still looking for his second colour.
If you can look at this bottom pile, I think like the mana cost, like there's a lot of good 2-casting cost spells in white, and white with creatures as well.
Yeah, because you're very high on white.
Yeah, I definitely like it.
As a sealed, limited
colour, definitely. I think it's very strong.
So I think Lewis he's gone to black first, I think, to go, can I do the green-black thing? I've got Languish. Do I have enough to make that my second colour and leave it at that? Or do I need to go into a third colour? Lewis is well known for playing 5 colours.
He does like to be creative with his deck building, that's for sure. I noticed he's also got an Outland Colossus there, so that's another rare that he picked up, which is also green, so he's done really well.
That's huge.
Yeah.
The 6/6, renowned 6.
In can't be blocked by more than one creature, so...
I mean, if you want a finisher in sealed or in limited, he's pretty good.
Yeah, this is a really good, really strong pool, I think.
Well, he's certainly drafted some bombs. Opened some bombs, more to the point.
He also has a Orchard Spirit there, 2/2 for 3. Orchard Spirit can't be blocked, except by creatures that have flying or reach.
And he's got the Titanic Growth that we've already picked up on.
He's got 2 actually.
He's got 2 Titanic Growths.
Yes, he does.
He could punch through for some damage really quickly. Do you think he's going to play the double Titanic Growth, double Wild Instincts, and just go for those early kills?
I think so. I mean, I think the deck's sort of building itself a little bit. It depends on what support cards he's got. I don't think he's sold on black yet because his green is so strong.
Yep.
I think I think he could be looking at white playables right now. I think the curve in white, like as I said before, the low curve with the creatures
lends to that tactic.
It could help if he goes for the aggressive strategy.
Yep.
I don't think. I mean, Nissa will probably get played anyway, just for the sake of playing with new Planeswalker.
Yeah.
But I don't think she would be as good in an aggressive strategy. But in saying that, she's a great finisher.
Yep.
You know, so if he gets to 7 lands, it's just going to cause all kinds of trouble for his opponent.
And with this type of deck, you can get to 7 lands, I think, because you're going to have all those early plays.
Yeah, for
where
sure.
Nissa really gives you that late game play. You can hold it in your hand for a while if need be.
Indeed. Now, I think that top card in here, his left hand, the top, I think is Might of the Masses, which is also a nice little pump spell, which is target creature gets +1/+1 till the end of turn for each creature you control.
Instant.
1 mana.
1 mana. Yeah. Good for those, again, really good for that aggressive strategy. And you can see there that he's looking at both those Titanic Growths at this point in time.
Indeed.
I think to the bottom right of the screen is, Lewis's is his sort of discard, I don't want to play this sort of pile.
He's got 2 Llanowar Empaths as well, it looks like. Oh, well, at least 1 Llanowar Empath, which is when it enters the battlefield, scry 2 and then reveal the top card of your library. If it's a creature card, put it into your hand. So a little bit of card filtering as well, which is quite good.
Which is excellent. So has he chosen a second colour yet, or is he still looking?
He's still looking. He's got a white card right on top of the pile there.
Now he's also drafted Meteorite, the Shock Rock. Do you play that in this?
Let's have a look at Meteorite. I mean, it's a little bit of removal, so if he's really struggling for it and he thinks that he needs to have access to a small amount of removal, then it can't hurt. I mean, it does gets him an extra mana as well. It's a tough call. I mean, 5 mana for 2 damage is a lot.
Yep.
He's exploring red now.
I think he's definitely looking at red, possibly for the additional removal.
He's also got the Majoring Responder in his pile separate as well. If you just keep an eye on that one, so it'd be interesting to see if that goes in the deck. He's definitely got some powerful cards, that's for sure.
He's got double Chandra's Fury.
Okay.
Which is why he's looking at red. An instant 1 red and 4 deals 4 damage to target player and 1 damage to each creature that opponent controls. So it really punishes your opponent for playing those 1 toughness creatures.
Definitely so.
And again, goes along with that early, I'm going to try and pump through as much damage as I can strategy, and then clean up with a couple Chandra's Furies.
Absolutely. It definitely looks like he's developed a bit of a plan. And
I want him to play the Majoring Responder. Put it in there, Lewis. Don't put it aside. Put it in there. There's style points in that.
And he's also got dragon fodder there as well, which is definitely works well in this deck.
Oh, absolutely. That's your definite aggressive strategy. Do a dragon fodder, follow it up with titanic growth. There's 5 points of damage.
By the looks of things, the fact that he's got a couple one-drop red cards that are separate with his Might of the Masses.
Yep.
It'll be interesting to see what they are. I'll just show. Let's locate those. We'll have a bit of a look at that. It could be Fire Impulse actually. If you got double Fire Impulse, it's hard to see now. He's moved the cards. He's taken the red out. But Fire Impulse is instant, deals 2 damage to target creature, and he's basically a shock. So if he had 2 of those as well, you can see him definitely looking at red as a possibility.
It's a shame you can't take that Elvish Visionary that Cohen's got in his hands.
Elvish Visionary can slot nicely into Lewis's deck.
Yep.
Extra bit of card draw.
Now I like the husk in this. He's having a look at a black version now. I like the husk there.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't play much sealed, I mean, doing something that Lewis is doing right now is definitely very good. You're making use of your time accordingly and trying to see what strategies you've got available to you. It's not always about just picking one colour or picking 2 colours straight away just because you like a colour or there's one particular card that you think's really good and then just getting desperate and putting the deck together out of sheer stubbornness really about trying to play this one particular card that you've talked about or what have you. So he's being thorough, which is quite good, really important to do in sealed when you're trying to build a quality deck.
And sometimes the seeded pack that you open is not the colour that you end up playing.
Oh, of course.
Sometimes it is garbage, so you have to be willing to sort of flip to a different strategy.
Indeed.
If need be. Cohen on the other hand, he's noticed that his other colours, green, blue and black, just aren't up to scratch. He's pretty set on his white-red strategy.
That's right.
And he's just going with that. He's looking at it now and just trying to figure out exactly what goes in his final 40 or 41.
John's been on a bit of a tear lately, so he's been playing good Magic, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him come up with a nice deck.
He's just having a bit of a count here. Do you like, what's your mana split? 17 and 23?
I think it depends on the deck again. 17 is the general rule of thumb.
Yep.
Sometimes you can afford to go 16, sometimes you need to go 18.
Yep.
It just depends on what you've got in your card pool and how your deck's looking.
Sure. Is your deck ever strong enough that you have to go 41 cards?
I'd like to say no, but I think that I've done it before, so I can't stick to that. So,
I'm exactly the same. It was a bit of a trick question for you, I suppose.
Exactly right. But I think, look, to be honest, I think probably most people would have at some stage played 41 or 61 cards, depending on the format.
Yep.
But, look, 60 cards and 40 cards is a guide.
Yes.
So if you've got the cards, and if you honestly feel that that the deck works by having that extra card there, and it's a needed card or an essential creature, then I think that you're doing yourself a favour by having a go. Okay. Alright, let's have a quick look here. Let's go here.
Don't play the archive verse, that's just garbage. There we go, that's good man. Put that back down. I think he was just checking for anything that he might have missed there. We've gone back to the green. No, we've gone back to a green-white strategy now.
Indeed.
As you said, white's strong, and both of these players here have looked at that green-white strategy.
I mean, Colin really quite quickly. He sort of almost like snap kept a bite, so to speak.
Yep.
And he's obviously really happy with what he opened in that regard.
Sure. Lewis could even end up going 3 colours here, especially with Nissa giving. Oh no, Nissa only gets a forest.
That's exactly right.
So you can't choose a different basic land with Nissa, unfortunately. But Lewis is well known for being very creative with his decks. But no, it looks like he's gone back to the black. But we will, if we've got time, get Lewis in here after he's finished constructing his deck.
Absolutely, have a chat with him about what he went through, what thoughts were going through his head at the time when when he's making his decisions.
And it looks like we've come to a decision now.
So I think we've got most of the set in full review now on the Facebook page.
Yep, absolutely. We've got black to be released tomorrow.
Okay.
Which is actually Lewis's set review.
Yep.
And then the lands, artifacts, and multicolored cards.
Indeed.
Which is yours truly, being released on Sunday.
And something else Dave has been doing since we opened at MTG Grinders has actually been doing a running series now of cards that you should be playing in Commander.
Yeah.
So check that out. It's a really, really fun set of articles. It goes through a series of cards where it talks about cards that are probably underutilized, underplayed, their value, what they can bring to the Commander table. And if you like Commander, check them out. There's a whole range of different cards for every color, artifacts, you name it.
I'll make sure to spread the love.
Indeed. And you've got to, because there's so many cards in the Magic universe. So
absolutely. And certain things that you've got to do is, you've got to keep the faith with certain cards when you're playing Commander. So, check it out if you can. It's on WordPress. Just look for MTG Grinders AUS for Australia.
Indeed.
On MTG Grinders, or just go to our Facebook page, which is just MTG Grinders. Look for the logo, which is in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen at the moment. That's what you're looking for. Hit like, and you'll get all of our latest updated information for new and older players.
Indeed. Now, we are going to try and get new videos going on a regular basis. It's been a work in progress. We've been going for almost 12 months now.
Probably around 8 months now.
8 months?
Yep.
We've got quite a few articles, we've got some videos. We're trying to get more involved in the community, especially locally. Guff on the playmat, we'll tell you a bit about Guff. Guff's a local gaming franchise in Australia.
They've got stores in Geelong, I think, Ballarat, Bendigo, Shepparton, and Brisbane, I think.
Yeah, I believe so. They provide basically a place where players can come and play all kinds of games, from LAN gaming, PC, competitive esports, all kinds of card games, Dragon Ball Z, Yu-Gi-Oh, and of course Magic the Gathering.
Now, MTG Grinders isn't aligned with any particular store.
That's exactly right.
But Guff have allowed us to come in and do this live stream, which is fantastic. We're using some of their fantastic equipment tonight as well. So a big thanks to everyone at the Guff store in Bendigo. However, if you'd like MTG Grinders to come to your shop, and
if you're local.
Specifically, if you're let's keep it to Victoria.
Yeah. Those of you who don't know, if you're tuning in from around the world, Victoria is the bottom arse end of Australia.
Except for Tasmania.
Yeah, true. We're not quite the lowest point, but hi to anyone in Tasmania. We like you too. Ideally, we'd be happy to come out and film any events you'd like to put up. Hey, look, if you're interstate and you want to sponsor us to come and visit you, we'll be happy to fly. Exactly. We're hopefully going to have a team heading up to the Sydney Grand Prix later in the year, so that'll be exciting. So if you see any of us and you remember the name or anything like that, come up and say hi. It'd be great to meet some more people. And who knows, we could even bring a camera with us as well.
And if you're interested in writing for MTG Grinders, you've got some theories and decks that you'd like to share, send us an email or a message via Facebook. Our email is just mtggrinders at Facebook. And mtggrinders at Gmail. And or via Facebook, and we can discuss things. So we're always looking for new people to try and produce content. So that's a good thing. We're just reading some of the comments that you guys have got to us on the Twitch feed. Why do you Twitch about the pre-release if you're not doing it until 23:30 Eastern Standard Time? Well, Eastern Standard Time is 11:30 before midnight, so that's when we stopped.
Okay, so just going to do an update here, so yeah. Okay.
So, and we might want to change the game title to Magic the Gathering.
Okay, so we can do that, so it comes up with that Magic Gathering file.
This is our first time, so we're just trying to figure this out now, but we appreciate the feedback and we're just trying to update this now. So yeah, it's midnight? So, nearly 1 a.m. Yep. Nearly 1 a.m. in the morning here in Australia. In Victoria, Australia, we have different time zones in Australia, as most places do all around the world. So it's starting to get pretty cold outside.
Oh, it's probably like a mild 3 degrees. That's Celsius for any folk that are in other parts of the world that use Fahrenheit. So it's pretty fresh, but look, it's worth it. We love this game. Let's talk about a bit about you, Dave. How long have you been playing Magic for?
I've been playing since '95. A friend introduced me to Magic when I was just finishing high school, and I've come in and out of Magic like 3 or 4 times. But it's not really until this last time that I felt like I really understood the game.
Okay.
I'm a full-time job guy, I'm a mortgage guy, I've got 2 kids, I've got a wife, so it's a matter of balance now for me. I'm not the guy that's going to go to the Pro Tour anymore. As you know, I've got other responsibilities at home that I need to live up to, and you're in the same boat.
Indeed.
But that comes back to the name that we've given MTG Grinders.
Exactly.
We're not the Pro Tour guys anymore. We want to try and give you the best coverage we can with the abilities we've got available.
Yeah.
And so if you're tuning in, we love to hear from you, and tell us about your experiences as well in trying to grind through to those upper tournaments.
Exactly right, because if you think about it, every Magic event you go to, you always meet people, and you're always talking about, and you always share stories, and that's one of the great things about Magic, which is having the opportunity to not necessarily talk about bad beats, which is part of the game, but to share your stories and create new friends and things like that. And I'm sure that's part of the game that we all love. I mean, sure, having the opportunity to win and succeed in the game is obviously a great bonus, but everyone just loves playing Magic, and I think that's that's the main thing. Like, when the opportunity came up, just speaking about this in general, Cohen, who we're watching now on the right-hand side, he suggested about getting a bus and going to Sydney for the Grand Prix, and I was really excited about that, because going on road trips with a group of friends, for those of you who don't know, Sydney's probably about an 8 to 10 hour drive from where we are, and massive road trip, group of friends, stay a few nights, play a heap of Magic, just really enjoy yourselves and be amongst good friends is always good fun, and I'm sure those of you that are watching this always can understand that.
So going back to Lewis here, it looks like he's settled on the green-black plan.
It does look that way, yes, and a few artifacts as well to boot. He's got a couple in there. He's keeping all. He's got the big guy in the end.
He's got the big guy, which is what we want to see.
He's got a couple Guardians and Meletus as well.
And Guardians Meletus, they're the 0/6 blocker.
Yeah, that's interesting.
For 3, so...
I guess he's trying to get to the late game. Like, I guess that's his theory there. Maybe he's going a bit less aggressive, and it's an interesting choice. It's definitely stops the ground and blocks it up.
It certainly does. If they didn't have Defender on it, I could certainly see him playing it.
Yeah, I guess because you can pump it up. It survives Languish.
Yep.
So that's a thing.
Oh, it certainly does survive Languish, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
And if he's got Meteorite in there as well?
Can't see because his hand's in the way.
Yeah, if he's got the Meteorite with a bit of acceleration.
I don't think he has. I can't see it. He's got one of the...
Doesn't have any Leaf Gilders, does he?
He's got one of the Titanic growths.
Yeah, he does.
And he's got one of the Wild Instincts, I think.
That's pretty cool, isn't it? But he didn't get any of the green ramp. He's got Gather the Pack. That card on top of that is Gather the Pack. So Gather the Pack is reveal the top 5 cards of your library. You may put a creature card from among them into your hand. Put the rest into your graveyard. So that's interesting. He gives him access to one of his big guys. And, that'll be... Look, it's not exact acceleration, but it helps him dig to one of his bombs.
Yep. I'm surprised he's playing the Guardians.
Yeah, it is a bit of a strange choice, considering where his deck was and what he was looking at earlier. It's definitely a bit of an oddball choice, but he obviously has his reasons. Not getting, as I said, not getting Leaf Gilder is a bit of a shame, because it's a common and allows him to tap for mana and accelerate where he needs to be. Didn't open the rare Honoured Hierarch, which would have been pretty exciting. It's a pretty exciting card actually. Honoured Hierarch. Honoured Hierarch's a 1/1 for 1, has Renown 1, and as long as it's Renowned, it has taps for a mana, which is pretty exciting. But unfortunately, Lewis wasn't able to open one of those.
So yeah, it is an interesting deck selection choice that he's made with the walls. I mean, it's kind of a bit confused. He's got the aggressive side of things, and then he's got a very defensive side of things. The only reason I can think of that he's playing those is to help him get to the late game. Because if he gets to the late game, he's got some bigger guys. Like as we said before,
so he's got the Mage Ring Responder.
Yeah, and he's also got the Outland Colossus, which you can see just next to that.
So he does have some really nice finishes, and obviously Nissa is your late game finisher as well.
So I guess in that regard, playing the walls is slightly more understandable, given that he's got Languish as well. They get to keep around and hold up the ground post Languish.
And so he's even thinking now about taking the Titanic Growth out.
Yeah, so he's definitely changed his mindset as to how the deck was looking from the outset.
So just looking at Mahamik on our Twitch feed here, we will try and look at it before round 1 starts, so we'll try and get that fixed as humanly possible. As we've said a little bit earlier, this is brand new to us.
Indeed.
Doing a live stream before, we've done recorded things on YouTube and so on, commentary.
Yeah.
But doing the live Twitch stream is brand new to us. This is our very first time. So thank you very much for the feedback. We certainly appreciate you tuning in and viewing. And we may just have to stop the stream, restart it in between now and round 1 to have it changed up there, because we've changed the name. And we'll see how we go. There we go. Magic the Gathering. We've missed a decimal point, I think. So we'll try and edit that now.
Yeah, indeed. But also, if you search up MTG Grinders on Twitch, you should be able to locate us that way. Because if you find the MTG Grinders heading, you should be able to locate it. It won't be too hard. Okay, there we go. Give that a try. Okay, so we've made another update, and we've got the Magic the Gathering in there now. Hopefully that works. Double column. Alright, there we go. That could help.
There we go. Magic the Gathering. It's come under the list.
Okay, so hopefully that's right. Try now. Alright.
Give it a try now, and tell us if that one now works.
Okay.
Hopefully it does, and that'll be really good if it does. So if you can give us that bit of feedback, that'd be awesome. Lewis has finally decided on his list here. What we might do is, it looks like Cohen's already done, so we might get Cohen in quickly to have a bit of a chat to us and tell him about his thought process and why he went.
By looks and things, actually, they're doing each other's decks.
So I'm just going to poke my nose out the door, mate.
Yeah, by all means.
Let's see if I can grab him.
Not a problem, Dave. So let's talk a bit more about Magic Origins. Like it's a pretty exciting set. I mean, the last core set at this stage for Magic the Gathering, and it's a bit of a sad time because I know a lot of my memories involved playing Magic core sets. I started back around about 8th edition, around where Onslaught Block was around, and the first pre-release I went to was actually the 8th edition pre-release. So definitely been a big part of my Magic life, going to the core set pre-releases. So it's going to be a shame to see it go, but in saying that, change is always good. So looking forward to seeing what Wizards of the Coast can produce with the upcoming Magic the Gathering sets. Now, having a look at some of the reprints from the Origins list, like I'm a big fan of Smash the Smithereens. That is, it's always been a strong part in the formats that's been available. Handy and limited, handy and constructed.
So we're here now with Cohen, and we saw him on the right-hand side of our screen. And Cohen, you went for red and white really quickly. Can you tell us why you went for those colours that quickly?
The red was because I took the pack and I had more actual cards in it, so it gave me a lot more playables.
Okay.
And the white was I opened 4 very strong white rares and had a lot of bears to just support it.
Exactly right. And look, I think that's from our review earlier in the week. I think you can see that the bears are actually really prominent in white. Like it's really, it's got a good curve for an aggressive deck. What were the main standing points of the deck that you thought?
There's a lot of good removal, especially in white, that I hadn't quite seen, like Celestial Flare,
Absolutely.
Suppression Bonds. I managed to pick up a Tragic Arrogance, which is a bit of a board wipe when I need it. So,
and you got Knight of the White Orchid as well.
yep.
Kytheon's Irregulars as well. I really like Kytheon's Irregulars as well as a rare. Charging Griffin, you get a bit of I guess flying attack damage.
I pulled 2 in my pool, and I've only gone with 1.
Okay.
As I just was trying to make cuts, and I like to be a bit earlier than later.
Yeah.
The thing that I'm not happy about with my deck is I've got 8 planes and an Evolving Wilds.
Right.
But with the Kithkin's Irregulars to use the double white to tap things down and the double white early, I don't know if I'll always have it when I want it. But at the same time, I didn't want to drop down to 6 mountains either, because I didn't think I'd hit them.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Needed, so.
Did you happen to open up a Crowan Jailer at all?
Crowan Jailer?
Yeah, the 1/1 tapper.
No, I did not.
What are your thoughts on him compared to Kytheon's Irregulars? I mean, I know it's a rare versus a common, but they've got a similar, effect.
The big difference is the rare doesn't tap to tap down, and it can hit multiple targets.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is going to be much stronger.
It's good. It's good when you play it, and it's good late game as well. Definitely think that's good.
So it looks like that you've got a really good range of removal in this deck.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about that a little bit?
Yeah, I touched on that before, but one card that I'm really a fan of is Swift Reckoning. At sorcery speed, it kills something, but you can also get it as an instant.
Absolutely.
Which is quite good for white.
Yeah, I mean, it's the spell mastery, considering the spells you've got in your deck, is conceivable. Like, you can definitely get that to happen. But even if you don't, the fact that it only costs 2 mana isn't going to inhibit you too much.
Well, I'm running 10 instants and sorceries at the moment. Actually, no, sorry, that's wrong. I'm running 8.
Yep.
2 of those spells were enchantments. But 8
So
should be
10
enough.
non-creature cards, yeah?
Yes.
That seems to be a lot for a limited deck.
I don't mind running more spells as long as they're good spells. If I'm playing a spell that removes one of their creatures, it's just as good as a creature to me, because I get to pick which ones of their creatures live.
Yeah.
So when I do limited, I'm always leaning towards more removal. That's what I usually look for, and that's how I picked red as well, because I thought red had better removal.
Okay, yeah, that's fair enough. From what we've seen here, even when Lewis was sorting through his pile, he actually almost considered red for that very reason. Did you get any of the shock? The 2 mana to target creature? One mana.
Oh yeah, the magma spray type effect.
Yeah.
Or the mugging. No, I didn't get any of those, unfortunately.
Okay.
My red was actually...
Fire Impulse.
Yeah. It wasn't... My red wasn't insanely strong. Like, I got the Embermore Helion, which is
we saw
as
that
my
last
pre-release card.
Yeah.
Which is alright, but I don't have a lot of red to go with it. But I still felt a 4/5 body with trample was enough to be played.
And if he can be the guy in play when you play Tragic Arrogance, I think you'll be doing alright for yourself. I think having Knight of the White Orchid, big fan of that guy. He was always good when he was available previously. I think having it it sort of helps you if you're on the draw. If you can have that 2 mana on the draw, you've got a bear on turn 2 if you can get the 2 white. But say if you open up into Evolving Wilds, into Plains, play Knight of the White Orchid on turn 3 before you play a land. He gets to activate his ability, and then play your land. So it's quite good in keeping up when you're on the draw. Plus, he's got the first strike, which is really handy. What are your thoughts on suppression bombs?
To me, I'm pretty sure it's just an arrest that's a little bit...
It's different.
More expensive.
Yeah. To me, it reminds me of Fate's Fetters, which became quite the played card. It stops. The fact that it can stop activated abilities is handy. Yeah. You could come across some of the creatures that do have activated.
It's like a very expensive pacifism as well.
Absolutely.
But there's no exploit in this format.
That's right.
So they're not going to get that free removal of it. So I'm willing to pay 4 to remove their best thing most times.
Absolutely.
All right, we're going to have to wind this up with Cohen because there's about 30 seconds of deck building time left out there.
Thanks for joining us, Cohen. We're going to get the video ready. We're just going to put it on a bit of a pause, and we'll be back with round 1 of the MTG Origins release event for you shortly. Alright, welcome back guys. We are for round 1 of the MTG Origins pre-release event here in Bendigo, Australia. Thanks for tuning in if you have, and be sure to check out MTG Grinders Facebook page if you get a chance. So right now we're going to get started with round 1, and we've got Trent on the left, Trent Clark on the left. He's up against his opponent Andy on the right hand side.
With the Game of Thrones, Trent's got the Game of Thrones slips with the Guff Planet. Andy's decided to go with the classic black-backed slips. And it looks here that Andy's playing white.
And Trent's on green-black, I believe, which is interesting. This is what we talked to him about earlier, and he was actually really keen on playing green-black, so that's obviously come to fruition for him.
And I don't think he would have forced it either, so...
No, Trent's the kind of guy that would definitely make the choices based on what cards are available, so it'll be interesting to see how he curves out, and we'll go from there. Now, I've had a bit of a sneak peek at Trent's deck, and he does have a pretty good build. He's got some bombs in there, such as the Outland Colossus, and also Gaia's Revenge, which we just spoke about earlier.
And so, play 2, Andy's come out with a land past the turn, so no play 2, no first or second turn there from Andy. Trent's currently got a swamp in his hand, which he can lay right about now. And we've got a play here.
Leaf Gilder. And that's the card we talked about earlier with Lewis. And I think that's why he went away from playing the green-black deck potentially. Because, I mean, that 2-drop, taps for mana, speeds you up significantly.
Yep, so it's a 1 green, 1 other. It's a 2-1, taps for a green. Very nice. So looking at Andy here, on the other hand, Andy's... now, I believe that's the rare that makes things more expensive to play.
Yes, I'm with you. Is that the non-creature spells though?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm just trying to find the name of it at the moment, and it's escaping me. We're trying to bring you the best card details we can. It's Viren Wingmare.
Oh, and it's no longer for this world.
It's been taken out.
Yeah.
And Trent comes through for 2 damage. We'll just have to adjust those playmats a little bit, or adjust the life total.
Okay. Alright, so what we're going here, Dave's just going to see if we can get that updated so we can try to get you a bit of a better bit of coverage here, guys. Okay. So Trent's made a pretty good start so far. He's been able to curve out nicely and plays on turns 2 and 3, and also been able to remove one of Andy's main threats. And the benefit was he was able to remove it by playing a creature, so that was a great work. Eyelight Assassin, I believe that is, so that was fantastic. Fantastic play for Trent. Alright, so...
Alrighty, we've got things adjusted.
Okay, so that's a bit better. We've got some life totals in play now, guys, so you can see that. So I was just talking to the viewers, so we had Trent play Eyeblight Assassin, which took care of the threat that Andy played.
And Andy should actually be on 18, is that correct?
At the moment, he's taken a hit from Leaf Gilder, which is just the 1.
Yep.
So yeah, I believe he's on 19.
And we've got the Winged Spirits out by Andy.
Indeed.
An interesting card. Wizards actually got, I believe, a little bit of flack from the picture of that card, that they went too far having ghosts of children.
Okay, wow, I hadn't heard of that. Okay, so what's Trent got here? Let's have a quick look at what this one is, and we'll see if we can work out that. And he's getting here with it. It's got haste, so let's see what he's got. Oh no, it's a Shambling Ghoul. Shambling Ghoul enters the battlefield tap, so it doesn't have haste, but he's getting in there for some damage, and Andy's on the crackback.
Also put out an Orchid Spirit there.
That's exactly right. So the Orchid Spirit can't be blocked except by creatures with flying or reach.
So a little bit of evasion there, which is really, really nice.
It's also developed a really good board presence at the moment.
That Orchid Spirit could just get through with more damage, although those Winged Spirits do have flying.
Indeed.
So it does have a blocker there if he actually wants it.
So look at this other card is that Andy's laid out. So that's actually the first sighting of Rox. Rox Maulers, the 4/4 with trample for 5, renowned 2. So he can be a 6/6 trampler. For those of you guys that have played Magic for some time, you know all about Rox. Rox has been a great Magic stalwart and core sets for a long time. Pretty much since the first time, wasn't it? I believe he would have been back in Alpha or Beta.
Rocks? No, Rocks.
It was early on.
I believe Rocks was around Saga Block.
Was it really? I thought it was
Yeah.
one of the really old green creatures that was printed.
No, I believe he was one of the first really big unblockable
Okay.
guys from around Saga Block.
Well, happy to be wrong, but he's Rox has been around for a while. Let's just say that. And,
But if you can attack with him and Titanic Growth him or something like that.
but he's got trample anyway as well, so that's something to consider.
Yeah, but Trent does have the greater board presence there.
He does.
So you attack with that 4/4. He's going to possibly either block it or let it through. But if he does block it, you can Titanic Growth. It can +4/+4.
Yeah. Well, speaking of attacking, Trent's just played Yava's Force Mage, and so when Yava's Force Mage comes into play, enters the battlefield, target creature gets +2/+2 till the end of turn. Now, he's getting in there for an attack. He's got Leaf Gilder untapped, so if he does have a Might of the Masses, it could he could be a bit of a trap here for Andy. See if he blocks with rocks. He might have to take quite a bit of damage otherwise. Yeah. Okay, so he takes damage. So I'm not sure exactly how much it was. So it was at least 4, 5, 6 damage by the looks of things. But wait and see. Dave's just going to get the life totals updated here so we can see it on the camera, guys. Make it easy for you. Andy gets him with his Blessed Spirits for 2 damage. He's just chipping away. Chipping away. So he's got 6 lands, so we're interested to see what he has, or whether or not he plays it. So
We've got an update on life totals as well.
and he's down to 10, and Trent's currently on 16, just the 2 hits from the Blessed Spirits. Now, okay, so we've got a spell he casts by Andy. Let's have a look. I think he might be the life gain, gain 4 life, draw a card.
Oh, yeah. Not something
Yeah.
that I'd necessarily put in my deck.
It's kind of like a really bad Renewed Faith. Remember Renewed Faith?
I do, but
Yeah.
Renewed Faith, I suppose Renewed Faith cycle, drew a card, so you
That's
draw a
right.
card, gain 2 life, was it?
I believe it was 2 for the cycle, 3 for the cycle. There's 2 mana.
2 for the cycle and 6
6 for if you're hardcast.
if you're hardcast.
Yeah, that's a great card, Renewed Faith.
Well, that was around the time of Astral Slide,
He was.
so it fits into standard perfectly. And as you can see, Trent's hat is pretty dope.
Just ask him. He'll tell you all about it. Trent's probably one of the leading Magic players in our region at the moment. Trent's been putting up quite consistent numbers. Colin's challenging him for sure, but Trent's just been a really dominant force, really consistent player lately. So hats off to Trent, so to speak. He's been quite a good player so far.
And a bit of encouragement for Trent on the Twitch feed. Get that nerd Trent.
Thanks very much for that 12 point. He's full on nerd. Full on nerd. White nerdy even.
Alright, so 16 versus 14, gone back up to 14 with that life draw a card.
Trent's just thinking about it.
He continues to attack with his Blessed Spirits there, and it's the only one that can block the Oracle.
That's correct. But I mean, it'd be just a trade-off, so it's not really effective for him to be getting in there. So let's see what Trent's got now. He's looking at Might of Masses. Might of the Masses is quite interesting. So it gives it +1/+1 for each creature you control. Okay, so now he's gonna get in with the unblockable guy, it looks like.
Yep.
And he's also got another ability here.
So
another creature.
the unblockable guy's just got +5/+5.
Yeah, it's interesting though. He's played it main phase. I'm just curious as to why he played that main phase. Okay, what's the ability that he's casting just now?
Alright, that is Eye Blight Massacre. So 2 black and 2 non-elf creatures get -2/-2.
So that's why he did that so he can keep it alive.
Yep.
So it survives the turns. Okay, so he's doing, I think he might be doing lethal.
He might have added that up as lethal, and he does have a blocker there. But
So
if he's got
Yaba's Force Mage is a 2/2, the Eyebite Assassin's a 2/2, Leaf Guild is a 1/2, and the Oracle is a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7. So he's definitely got lethal damage in the play.
Yep. So we're going to see.
Actually, no, he doesn't. He doesn't have lethal. He has 12.
Oh no, he just takes it.
So there you go.
Goes down to 3.
There you go. So he only had 11. So there you go. Slight miscalculation there, guys. Sorry about that. All right, here we go. He's Renowned Rocks. Rocks is getting
Rocks
in
is
there.
going to come through. It's going to get +2/+2 counter.
Bold attack. Oh, and he's
It's the old attack,
get renowned.
and then scoop play.
So Tre's got the first win on the board, and look, he curved out. What can I say? Nicely built deck by the looks of things. Hitting from Leaf Gilder into the removal. The removal assassin was something I hadn't really seen much of. So in terms of looking at the set so far, so let's have a bit of a closer look at that one. I think it's Eyeblight Assassin. And when it comes into play, it does neg 1. So Eyeblight Assassin enters the battlefield, target creature and opponent controls gets neg 1 until the end of turn. So hitting that on curve is really important for him. You don't want to get it too late in the game. You want to be able to take out that early guy.
Yeah, so that annoying elf or that annoying goblin.
Potentially so. I mean, it's pile driver.
Yeah.
But in saying that, one of the other things that, I mean, in this case, it got rid of another annoying creature, which was the card that makes all these spells, non-creature spells, a bit more expensive.
Sure.
So it was quite a good card in here.
And he's obviously drafted white, as you can see from the Gideon Jura box. So it'll be interesting to see what else he can pull out. We've had a chat about white. There's a lot of enchantments there. Things like Auramancer to bring back enchantments. There's a couple of flyers like the Avon Battle Priest, and some really good removal with Celestial Flare and Suppression Bonds.
Absolutely. Celestial Flare gives him a lot of options. We don't know if he's got that in his deck, of course, but if he has, it will give him some good options for removal. And as we talked about with Cohen, there's also the 2-mana sorcery that can be played as an instant. Just bring that one up, which was what was that one called again?
It was the uncommon, was it?
Swift Reckoning.
Reckoning, yeah.
Uncommon. So basically, it's destroy target tap creature for 2 mana, which is similar to what 4 mana spells have been in the past.
Yep.
But with spell mastery, if you remove instant, if you've got 2 or more instant or sorcery cards in your graveyard, you may cast Swift Reckoning as though it had flash. So basically, makes the card instant, which is quite exciting. Alrighty. So they're travelling quite quickly here. These guys know each other pretty well, so a lot of respect, a lot of trust.
They used to live together. They've played many a Magic game.
Indeed.
Against each other. They've reset our life dice, which is nice. Let's see if we've got any mulligans. Speaking of mulligans, what do you think of the new mulligan rule?
New mulligan rule. Look, it'll be interesting to see if it ends up being a worldwide change. Obviously, it's only going to be impacting a couple of major events for now.
Yep.
And then, obviously, we'll see how it goes in this case. Andy and Trent are both taking a mulligan, so both not happy with the opening 7.
Yep.
But look, it is interesting. It gives the opportunity for players to, once they know what they're up against, I guess, if you're on the draw, it gives you the opportunity to try to manipulate the draw somewhat.
Yep.
Not to say that Scry 1 is better than a card as such, but it's in terms of Magic talk, it might be considered to be like half a card.
Well, Wizards have come out and said it's 0.4, so half a card is very, very close.
Yeah. So I mean, in terms of what it does to games, it'd be interesting to see. Like a lot of people have talked about Delver and how people might, if you've got a Delver, if you have a Delver in your hand and you're on the draw. With 6 cards, then fantastic. But if you've got 7 cards with no Delver, maybe mulligan.
Sure.
I'm not sure.
I think what it will do is it will increase the amount of mulligans from 7, but decrease them from 6.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's important in a way because the game itself can be just over at 5. Like, nothing worse, especially in modern format. Like, when you mulligan to 5 and your opponent opens on Thoughtseize or opens on Inquisition.
That's so tough.
You're a mile behind.
Yep.
And it's almost impossible for you to come back.
So both players here have played their first 2 lands and passed the turn, so slow from both players. Andy's got a 3rd land there and still passes, so that's a bit tough.
Yeah, he does have the same thing in play that Trent had before. Let's have a quick look at that in his hand. I'm just going to have a look at the card that he's got in hand at the moment. Let's have a quick look here. Okay.
And Trent's come back out with the Orchard Spirit again, which is your 2/2 slight evasion creature.
That's right.
Cannot be blocked except by creatures with flying or reach. And he's going to come through for the 2, and he's just laid a 4th land and passed the turn again.
He's got Gather the Pack in hand, which is interesting. So it's reveal the top 5 cards in your library. You may put a creature card from that into your hand.
So why would you not cast Gather the Pack?
It is interesting. I'm not 100% sure. Well, obviously, we don't know what else he's got. I know he's got a forest, but it's interesting because I mean, it's 2 mana spell, and he hasn't played the spell for 3 or 4 turns. So,
all right. So we've got a 5-drop here.
comes into play, tap target creature until the end of turn. I think that's the common one, 5. It just says it comes into play effect.
Just trying to find the name of it for you.
I believe it's a 2/5.
Is that the one with Vigilance?
Yeah, but no, it's not. That's not that guy. Okay. Let's have a quick look and see if we can work this out for you. Alright, so there he is, down there. Heavy infantry.
Yeah.
3/4, when it enters the battlefield, tap target creature you control.
So, I mean, that's a solid 5 play, but the problem is Trent's got 2 evasion creatures out. That puts Andy on a real big clock, and this game could be over in,
Matter of turns.
a matter of turns.
Okay, so what's he actually casting there?
See, this is the +2/+2 and fight, I believe.
Could be, yes.
The Wild Instincts.
Yeah.
Yep, it's +2/+2 and
Maybe
and
that was the
fights.
card I thought he had in his hand before and it wasn't Gather the Pack.
And he's actually got a second one in hand, so...
Oh, there you go. It probably was that card, so that probably makes a lot more sense.
Yep, so he's put his 5-drop out, hit the +2/+2 and fight.
Wow, he's taking a lot of damage. He's taking 6 here. He's
down to 6.
It's looking pretty grim. Like he's going to fight another guy now.
Yep.
He can't attack though. And see what Trent's got here. Another creature. Trent's deck's working really quite well.
It's curving out nicely, very, very nicely. And he's going to have to try and increase his board presence somehow.
Yeah.
Because Trent's just going to overrun him very, very quickly.
Indeed.
We know he's got the other fight spell in hand, so he can remove one of his creatures. He can't really attack though.
Yeah.
That token in there is an elf token,
That's right.
1/1 warrior.
Dwayne Ends Elite or Twin Ends Elite.
Yep.
When he enters the battlefield, put a 1/1 elf warrior token into play.
And if Trent just attacks with everything, he's pretty much got the game won at this point in time, just due to Andy's lack of board presence there. So we'll see what Andy can do. He has dropped another land, so...
He's not in a good spot. Let's be honest about that.
So Andy has dropped another creature, but it doesn't allow him to kill anything. We'll try and figure out what that one is.
It's safe to say, Trent's been a bit like a surgeon, really. He's just getting in there with his plays. Very clear cut. Nice and precise plays. Nice and crisp. He's assessing the situation at the moment. And he's got 2 green mana available, 2 untapped creatures. 2 green mana, there's not a lot you can do in the format. You got some pump spells.
Although Andy's come out with the War Oracle, which is a 3/3 life linker with Renown 1.
Yeah.
If he can play the fight, give it +2/+2, fight another guy, then attack through, that's 5-10 damage he can gain in the 1 turn.
Good point.
Possibly, does the fight one give trample at
Does the
all?
fight one give trample?
I don't think it does.
I don't believe so.
But
No, it doesn't.
no, it doesn't. But that's 10 life he can gain.
Oh, look out.
Although this, might ruin his plans altogether.
I think that's the same one, the Neg 2 Assassin.
So that
It's an enchantment, I believe. Gives the one that all creatures. I think is it Neg 2? Neg 2? We saw Trent play it before.
well, no, it's an enchantment. We didn't see Trent play an enchantment before.
No, good point.
But we're going to try and gain some life here, at least for Andy. So he'll gain 1 from that. He'll take a bunch of damage from the other one.
It was Wade of the Underworld. Enchanted creature gets Neg 3, Neg 2.
Yep. So it didn't kill it, but it made it a 0/1 basically.
I think it was, so.
Yeah.
Alright.
So
Andy's down to 1.
Andy's got down to 1.
conceded.
He extended the hand. Trent's deck just curved out far too nicely for Andy to keep up with.
And something we didn't see, Trent actually has in his deck, I actually had a bit of a look before we started, and Trent actually has access to the Outland Colossus, the 6/6 for 5 mana with Renown 6, that we discussed earlier, so that's just, fantastic finish that he's got. He's also playing Guy's Revenge as well, so that's pretty exciting.
Now we've got a a question here on our Twitch feed. What promos have been seen?
What promos have been seen? So the Hellion, was it the Hellion? The red.
The red Hellion. Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely.
The legendary elf.
Yes.
The Lord, the new elf Lord has been opened up. So the other two we've seen, because we watched two people open the decks previously. So far it's just the Hellion and also the elf Lord that I've seen so far.
We'll try and figure out a few other promos that have been seen and let you know. Agra. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. If I'm not, I apologise. The players have obviously finished this round. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at a few other cards, Wayne.
Yeah,
I haven't really told you about this.
That's okay.
But I'm going to get you to give me your clue on whether they're going to be played in limited, standard, construct, modern, or anything like that.
Yeah, no worries. That sounds like a great idea. Let's have a quick look.
So the first one is Avaricious Dragon.
Avaricious Dragon, 4/4 for 4.
4/4 for 4, flies, as most dragons do.
Yep.
And at the beginning of your draw step, draw an additional card. At the beginning of your end step, discard your hand.
Interesting. It's very interesting, I guess, wording on the card there, because you think dragons and you're thinking red-green dragons in the current format and standard,
Yep.
and you think it might go good with Thunderbreak Regent, with also Stormbreath Dragon.
Sure.
However, the fact that you have to discard your hand is not something that you really want to do in that particular deck.
There seems to be two camps with this particular card. One, people that go, it's fantastic because I get to draw an additional card.
Yeah.
I get to then spew out my hand as fast as I can. There's another camp that goes, all right, I can't play this card because I'm discarding my hand.
Yeah, exactly right. There's two different things though, because if in the right deck, like if you were playing this at the top of the curve in a red deck wins clap strategy, which 4-drops have been played for before,
Yep.
it could be okay.
So yes or no for that one?
I think it's going to see some standard play. Yeah.
All right. So the next one is Days Undoing, 1 blue and 2, and it's our Time Twister.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I've never played with Time Twister, I have to admit, so I can't really give too much feedback on that kind of card. However, it does seem interesting. It'd be exciting to see what kind of decks become available. People like this kind of effects.
Yeah.
So I have no doubt that we'll see play at some stage.
In standard, modern?
Straight away, it's probably more likely to see some play in modern, I would say.
I like it in a modern affinity.
Interesting, yeah, because you're emptying your hand so quickly.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's it. And because you can empty your hand so quickly, the drawback of them drawing 7 cards as well hits less.
Well, you can potentially cast it on turn 2 infinitely as well, so that's something to think about. So, yeah, definitely we'll see some.
Limited. Are you taking it at all?
Nah, I don't think so. This guy on the other hand, the Titan, I mentioned him before, is one of my favourite cards from the set. It's quite an exciting card. As I said, I think it's got some possibilities in Black Devotion, we touched on that, but also in control builds as well. It depends on how the format looks. A lot's going to change once Theros rotates.
Yep.
There's a lot of change will come then, so it'll be interesting to see how it goes. But
And it sort of rewards you for keeping that spare land in hand that you don't otherwise want to lay. You're keeping because you're bluffing a creature kill spell or a counter spell or something like
plus,
that.
if you're in a control deck, if this guy's in your graveyard, you can get him back pretty much at any time.
Yep.
You're going to have that ability to use his other effect.
Yep.
So, definitely exciting and one to look out for.
And plays really well with Languish as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Fits in.
Like killing all your opponent's dudes and then he becomes indestructible.
Yeah, that's right.
So he's something that's going to be interesting, and it'll be interesting to see if he remains post-rotation when Devotion isn't a thing.
Yeah, I think so.
Now, I've put this card in, Evolutionary Leap, where people have been saying it's absolutely fantastic. Reminds me of the old green enchantment from Exodus.
Sylvan Library.
No. I can't remember the name of it, escapes me. Where you can sacrifice a creature and get another creature, highly played in Highlander.
Okay.
Sacrifice a creature, reveal cards from your top of the library until you reveal a creature card. Put that card in your hand, and the rest on the bottom of your library. any random order. The good thing is, if someone goes to kill your creature, 1 green, you sacrifice the creature instead.
Yeah. Use its effect.
Find that it's something else.
Yeah, I can see it being useful. I don't think it'll see much standard play straight away.
Yep.
There's no, like things like if Vengevine was around, those kind of cards would be useful, I think, in that kind of deck.
Sure. And the last one, Starfield of Nyx. 1 white and 4. You obviously did the white set review for grinders. What do you think of this one?
I think at the moment, from a standard perspective, won't see much play at present, mainly because of the support. The card itself seems fine, but you need the supporting cast to go with it. I think it'd be an amazing foil. I think the artwork's ridiculous, and I think it'd look fantastic foil. So I wouldn't mind getting some just to chuck in the folder, just for the sake of having a nice foil pretty card sitting there.
Yep.
But the card itself, I think it's got some modern applications, commander, and even just casual. Casual implications, I think, are huge. But I'd like to see it in an enduring ideal deck.
Yep.
And again, as I said, I think it's a really strong finisher. Not having to play, even as a one-off in the modern deck that yourself you'd like to play.
White Prison, yep.
Yeah, I think having it as a one-off is a good finisher. You get it late game. As soon as you got it, you win.
I like how they incorporated the guides into the picture as well.
Indeed.
All right, we're going to take a short break, and we'll be back soon for round 2. We'll try and let you know exactly when that's going to be. We might even get Trent in here in the meantime to have a chat about his win and
Talk about his deck. Sounds good.
here with Trent Clark, who we just saw on camera, round 1. Congratulations on your win.
Thank you.
Obviously, the deck curved out rather nicely. They were 2 pretty quick wins.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to be able to tap pretty much all my mana every turn.
Yep.
Accelerating game 1 with the 2/1 dork off the top. It's pretty awesome. Like, it was the deck. Yeah, the deck. It's not too bad. It's not brilliant by any means, but like I'm not upset to have what I have.
Yeah. So you opened black.
Yeah.
Is that right? What was your promo card?
I can't remember his name. The High Priest, I think. 5 cost 2/2. Summons a 5/5 flyer. Getting your upkeep. Lose 2 life.
Lose 2 life.
Yeah, so 7 power. Cost 2 bodies for 5.
Yep.
One of which is a 5/5 flyer.
Nice.
Can't argue with that. I was happy to see him. I wasn't too thrilled with my black, but just like the synergy of the elves. I got the double Light Massacre, and as I was just saying to you before, there's only 3 cards in the deck.
Yep.
That so it's 4 costs, 2 black, 2 colorless sorcery. All 9 creatures get their 2 there too.
Yep.
There's only 3 creatures in the deck, and the High Priest is one of them, and the 2 are obviously the Orchid Spirit.
Yeah, only 3 creatures that died to that.
Yeah, sorry, that only died in that card. There's a couple other the big guys. I've got the Guy's Vengeance.
Guy's Vengeance, yeah.
The big hasty guy.
The hasty guy that can only be targeted by green spells.
Yeah, the big guy. The
he's
big
a finisher.
6/6 flying Vigilant Spider, which obviously doesn't die to it. What's his name? The 6/6 for 5 that gets Renown for 6.
Yep.
And I'm also playing a Rogue's Passage as well. I was very lucky to get that.
Nice.
I think it's a pretty
Make things unblockable.
I think it's a pretty underrated card with the Renowned ability.
Yeah,
So it's like, say for instance, like I can just accelerate into my big guy.
Yep.
Turn 4, or even not even, just take him on turn 5 because it's 6/6. It's huge.
Yep.
Play Rogue's Passage, attack for 6 Renown. Okay, now he's 12/12.
Now he's 12/12.
And
Deal
I
with it.
probably got 2 damage in because like I'm playing a bunch of elves. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, it's just a good finisher.
Also noticed that you had 2 of the green creatures, 2/2s that have the pseudo evasion ability.
Yeah, Orchid Spirit. Yeah, the
Yeah.
one I was talking about, my Black Massacre. He was in a core set. I think it was M12 or M11.
Yep.
It's just fine. Like, he just gets in for damage. Like, I'm not trying to do anything special with the deck.
Yep.
The deck's just what Green Black does. It's just play a bunch of dudes and attack. I mean, it's elves.
Yep.
Like, what do you want from elves?
Excellent.
You know, a bit of evasion.
Is there any sort of deck that you don't want to run into with it?
Would be right.
You'll be happy?
Just kill everything.
Excellent. Well, good luck for the rest of the tournament.
Thanks, man.
Cheers. just letting people know that there's about 9 minutes left in the round. So we'll be back very, very soon. Usually when the round ends, we'll come back and discuss what's happening.
Hey guys, welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. Sorry for the delay. We're just getting started on round 2 shortly, and we thought we'd come back. We've got a couple of people to thank, first of all. So, Dave, just want to go through this flyer.
Firstly, we'd like to thank Tesoro, official supplier of Guff Bendigo equipment. Go to www.tesorotech.com for gaming stuff.
Indeed. Pretty awesome stuff, guys. Also, just want to give a shout out to Brian Kibler and also to Brian David Marshall for the retweet. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that.
And that's Brian Kibler at BM Kibler and Brian David Marshall at Top 8 Games.
On Twitter, guys. Thank you very much. Appreciate the shout out. So earlier on the Twitch feed, we had someone ask a question about what kind of promos we've seen. So we've got a list. We went around the room after round 1. We found out there was Prison Warden, Priest of the Blood Rite, Outland Colossus, which is that 6/6 green rare. I think it might even be a mythic, actually, with Renown 6.
Managorger Hydra. Sorry, wrapped my lips around that one.
It was Gideon, was it?
Yeah, there was a promo Gideon, or his other name is Kythian.
Yep.
Someone got that.
And also Chandra.
Nathan opened a Chandra, which was nice.
Yeah, which is pretty exciting. So it's good to see the opportunity to get some of the more expensive or possibly constructed better rares as promos, which is pretty cool. It's not something you always see. So very exciting. So look, it sounds like they're getting ready for round 2 now, guys. So we're going to tune into a couple other players, see what cards they've got and what kind of decks they come up with.
And just so you know, we've got 38 players here at Bendigo for the midnight pre-release. It's now almost 2 a.m.
Just on that, before we go and before we get into this round, that means that we're going to actually be eligible to get bigger events here, and that's quite exciting for us. So we're going to be looking at getting quite a lot more larger events, and the more players that we get here enables us to do that. So big thank you to all players that turned up for this event.
So we've got Lewis, and we don't know his opponent just yet, coming up for the next round. So we're going to flip back over to the table cam and see what we can find out.
Alright, so we're just going to adjust the camera. It looks like someone's just being able to bump it for us and put it slightly offline. So just while Dave's out doing that, just thought I'd give everyone a big shout out. Now, pre-releases we know are always fun and enjoyable, but you get a lot of new players, and today we've got some new players, and so at the moment, after round 1, I was able to get out amongst the players and see what they were doing to help each other with their decks, and it was amazing. I have to say, the amount of people that were offering support and advice to other people with deck construction was just unreal. It was really pleasing to see. As I guess a guy that's played Magic for a little while, like Dave, seeing people come into the game and get educated by other players is just fantastic. And it's great to see everyone sharing the love, sharing advice on how triggers and certain card interactions work with new players. So it's really fantastic to see.
Actually, we've got Trent here against Lewis, winner of our round 1.
Okay, very good.
Versus Lewis. Now, Lewis, we saw a deck build in our sealed box opening. Now, we said earlier that Lewis can be relatively tricky when it comes to deck building, and what he's actually done is built 2 decks from his sealed box.
Well, obviously, he thought that the pool that he had was obviously strong enough to be able to do that, and I guess it gives us a different look at a variety of different cards.
Oh, absolutely. And so he's got a Golgari deck, so green-black.
Yep.
And he obviously opened the green box, so green-black with the Golgari. And he's also got a Boris deck as well, so red-white, which is where we sort of got confused when we were looking at him build his deck. That the fact that we were going, all right, well, hang on, this is a different tactic.
Indeed.
And not only was it a different tactic, it was a completely different deck.
Exactly right. So just so you know, guys, both of these gents that are playing right now are also both writers for our MTG Grinders page. So be sure to check out their stuff from the WordPress site as well, which is fantastic. Looks like they're getting underway here. I'm not sure if there's going to be a mulligan at all yet. I think Lewis is on the mulligan, so it won't be long. We'll get into this round shortly, and Trent is as well. So there you go.
So they're both mulliganing. Trent's with the MTG Grinders playmat this time, and Lewis with the Guff playmat. Again, thanks to Tesoro for breaking the rules with their computer gaming equipment. Some fantastic stuff.
And also to Guff for working with us to enable this event to go live around the world.
again, if you're watching on and you work in or run a game shop that's somewhere in the vicinity of Victoria, I suppose.
Hey.
Well, travels to most places, give or take-ish.
And we're open to flights to international locations as well.
And you want us to come to your shop because we're not affiliated with any shop or store.
Indeed.
We're happy to look at all offers and we're happy to come and record. We've done that with PDQs on our YouTube channel, and we write about it on our WordPress, and obviously have a good community going with our Facebook page. So jump on board, and if you'd like to contribute to MTG Grinders, we'd love to hear from you as well.
Absolutely. The more community input, the better. And so far, that's how we've grown. Like we started Grinders with just the two of us, and now we've got a whole host of people writing for the page.
Absolutely, always looking for more. Now, both players have come out and started with a forest pass the turn. Lewis comes out with a swamp and passes the turn back to Trent. As you can see, Trent's got a swamp and a forest in hand. Decides to come out with the swamp, so we're playing a game of mirrors here at the moment.
And I guess from the earlier video we saw that Lewis was on the green-black plan, so it'd be interesting to see how the deck pans out. So it leads off with a Timber Pack Wolf. So it's a 2/2 for 2, and if you have another card with named Timber Pack Wolf, he gets +1/+1.
And we do know Lewis has got a second one in his deck.
That's correct, and he's running both.
Yep.
Okay, so he starts off with the Trent starts off with the Assassin, which gives a creature when it enters the battlefield need 1/1.
Which unfortunately doesn't kill it, but he's just looking for a blocker, I would think, at this point in time. Just looking to try and curve out like he did in the last round. So Lewis comes in with his Timber Pack Wolf. Trent decides he's just going to take the damage.
Just having to think about it. Yeah, he's taking it. And there we have the promo, which is the legendary Elf Lord. We say Lord obviously because he provides +1/+1 to other green creatures. So Dwindon the Wiltleaf Dane? Dane, I suppose.
Dane, we'll go with Dane.
Yeah, other elf creatures you control get +1/+1. Whenever Gwynwyn Builtleaf Dane attacks, you gain 1 life for each attacking elf that you can control.
And being a 3/4, he's no slouch himself.
No, he's pretty good. Pretty good. 3/4 for 4 in limit is always alright with reach. So.
Highly playable. Reach, gains life, pumps other elves.
Absolutely.
If you're on the elf plan, highly playable.
And Lewis does feature a few elves in his deck list as well.
Now Trent's come in with his 2/2 versus a 3/4.
It's interesting, no blocks from Lewis, so he's just wary of any pump spells, something like Might of Masses and things like that.
Lewis isn't falling for anything like that at this point in time. Certainly no need with the board state. Happy to take the 2 points of damage, I would think. Trent laying his 4th land and just weighing up his options. Let's see if we can spy anything particularly in his hand. So here's our enchantment that gives -3, -2. It's a black enchantment. Gives -3, -2. That we saw last round as well.
Yeah, I'd like.
It's the weight of the underworld.
Oh, was it that? Okay, was that? Yeah, very good.
Yep.
So that really reduces his effectiveness right down.
Actually, that card really reminds me of the 7/10 creature from Theros that never got played, that when it died it blew up the world.
Okay.
Can't remember the name of it, but
Well,
fantastic.
Lewis is attacking both creatures, he's getting in there.
Yep, gains a little bit of life as well. 19 versus 16. And then follows up with a nice artifact there, which is the Bonded Construct, I think. No?
Scroll up.
No, it's the Guardian Automation. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
4-drop. It's a 3/3. When it dies, gain 3 life.
I think that'll do some nice block.
Yep, it'll do. Lewis is happy to now block.
It'll be interesting to see if this game goes to the late game. Like Trent has got some big threats. He does have a Guy's Revenge in his deck, which is pretty exciting. It'll be interesting to see if he gets to resolve that. And also Outland Colossus, which we've discussed earlier. Fantastic card.
I can't see Trent attacking with his Eyeblight Assassin this turn, unless he does definitely have that
Combat trick.
That combat trick that we were talking about earlier. purely because Lewis is more than happy to block with his 3/3 against the 2/2 now.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, if it dies, he gains some life.
Yeah, his Force Mage, if he has that, might be a thing. I think he's got another copy of the Enchantment, actually. The Underworld.
Yep. Way to the Underworld. There it is.
Yeah, he's going to kill off the Legendary Elf.
Sure.
2 for 1. Interesting to see if it's worth it. Maybe, I don't know, maybe Trent's just worried that he does have an Elvish army.
Yep. And as you can see, there's no attack there from the Eyeblight Assassin.
Alright, then we've got a trade coming up. The Assassin for the Wolf. And Trent takes 3. Looks like he's in a strong position here, although he doesn't have anything to play on with the mana that he's got available. So quite interesting. It'd be interesting to see what he's got in his hand at the moment.
Looks like he's got 2 cards in hand.
He does, but he may have run out of gas, unless he's got removal. And here Trent comes back with just looks like the Spider, I believe. Just a quick look here. Yeah, that's Skynear Spider. 6 mana Vigilance, 6/6 with Reach for 6 mana. So it's gonna lock up the ground quite nicely.
Oh, absolutely. That's a.
And Lewis has shown no fear here. He's actually sorry. I thought that was actually a attack step, but he's just untapped.
Now, what Lewis, would probably want to draw at this point, something like Erebos's Titan, or
That, or the fact that he's got 5 land. 6 land. Nissa wouldn't be too bad either.
absolutely. This would be a great draw at this point in time. There's the second wolf.
Yeah, it's
that
a
we're
bit
talking
late
about.
to the party. And here comes an assassin of his own.
Yep. Giving -1/-1, but it doesn't really impact the turn at all. So.
The 6/6 Vigilance is with Reach is pretty strong.
Oh, absolutely. Nothing's getting around or through that guy in a hurry.
No. And here he comes.
Here
for 6.
comes the 6/6. Do you triple block?
Oh, he does.
There we go.
And I was going to say, there's really no choice. And I think Trent's quite happy in this situation.
So 1, 2, 3 there. Leaving the 3/3 on the board and then taking it out with his second assassin.
There you go.
So that was.
Against 3, but I think he was able to clear the board quite effectively. Both players got 1 card in hand now. Lewis on the draw. Second card, draws a land. And no follow-up play. Okay.
So I think Lewis has got to get some sort of. I'm thinking in Lewis's hand is probably something like Titanic Growth.
Yeah, potentially. He hasn't really shown much of what he's got available. That's been a bit difficult to see. Trent's got a follow-up play. It looks like Yeva's Force Mage has come in now, so making the assassin 4/4. Lewis has decided to sacrifice his land.
And this is the Thopter land, I believe.
Yeah, I believe so. Foundry of the Consoles.
Yep.
So pay 5, sacrifice the Foundry of the, put 2/1/1 colourless Thopter artifact creature tokens in play with flying.
I'm glad we're starting to see this card because I think this will start to go in control builds.
Yeah, potentially so. I can see that.
Basically, as your pseudo manland.
Oh, okay. And here comes Titan.
Erebos's Titan. Tell us about this card, Wayne. What does it do?
Well, 5/5. Erebos's Titan 5/5. If he's in the graveyard, let me start from the top. As long as your opponent controls no creatures, Erebos Titan has indestructible. So that's not the case.
So that's not the case.
So it's not indestructible. But if the Titan is in your graveyard, whenever a creature leaves an opponent's graveyard, whenever a creature card leaves an opponent's graveyard, you may discard a card. If you do, return Erebos from your graveyard to your hand.
So at this point in time, probably not a factor in limited.
But he's a 5/5.
But he's a 5/5 for 4.
Indeed.
And so, at least a bit of a bomb there.
Just having a look at Lewis's graveyard at the moment. Just trying to weigh up and see what's come from the deck so far. And Trent has actually just made a play of his own. What was the card that he just played there? Okay. Let's keep looking. So you just played a Shaman, I believe. Deadbridge Shaman. So when it dies, target opponent discards a card. 3/1.
Lewis doesn't seem to have any cards in hand, so it doesn't really matter. Still attacks with his 2 Thopters, though.
It's interesting how back and forth this game's actually been.
Absolutely, and Lewis comes out with one of his own.
Is Trent down to 3 life, or is it 13?
I'm pretty sure it's 13, however, I'm not entirely sure it's correct.
Okay.
I think.
Keep an eye on it.
And there we've come out with our 2/2 can't be blocked except for with creatures with reach or flying.
That's right. The key thing is that it doesn't have reach. It's not front, I believe.
That's right.
So the Thopters are still going to be able to get in.
So we're just waiting on an attack there.
So Trent's actually updating his life total off camera.
Off camera.
Yeah.
I believe he's down to 9.
Okay.
Because he's taken 2 extra hits from those 2/1/1 Thopters.
Yep.
So I believe he's down to 9. We've just got to get them to update the dice if at all possible. But now they're both down to 1 card in hand. So they've used up a lot of their resources at this point in time.
Yeah, like you said, resources is probably the key word there, because Foundry at the console is clearly showing having an extra resource in your land, proving to be a factor right now. And here we go.
There we go, 7. I was 1 attack off, so from 9 to 7. The Foundry will be really, really good, unless Battle for Zendikar has man lands, which we're expecting because land set. Zendikar originally had Celestial Colonnade.
Yeah.
And a whole range of other man lands. So depending on what comes out there is dependent on how good Foundry is going to be.
Yeah, absolutely. But like you said, it could just go into a control build as a 1 or 2 as a way to get in extra points of damage.
Oh, absolutely. And thanks from Pack Rat Bus. I've probably pronounced that. Bearer of the Heavens, Red 1010. That's what I was talking about earlier.
There you go.
Are we following the new rule for scrying? No, we're not, because that's only at the Pro Tour. You can't actually do it at any REL events.
That's right. Hasn't been implemented just yet worldwide.
Yep.
No free scrying at this stage.
At the start of his match, because this lands in front is illegal. No, it's actually not. Again, that's only on camera at the Pro Tour.
Yeah.
So, but I see you have done the funny face there. So we'll let Trent know that that you've mentioned that on Twitch.
He won't like it because he's a bit of a fan of having the lands up top. It started happening a couple of years ago and it just stuck. So playing lots of control decks. Lots of land, so we figured having the land at the top was a relevant thing, but it's something that he's just incorporated into his game these days. So.
All right, now we've missed a bit of a play because the 2 Thopter tokens have been taken out. So has...
It's interesting. So Trent lost. He lost the Oracle, the 2/2 Oracle.
Yep.
But I think he might have played Removal Spell there, the black card that's on top of his.
The Orchard Spirit he lost. Sorry.
Yeah, he did. That's right. But he lost. What was the black card that's in his graveyard at the moment?
Alrighty. Now Lewis is coming for an attack. Attacked with everything. Trent's blocked, and it's just wiped the board. So we're back to pretty much Square one.
Trent off the top drops Colossus.
Now,
wow, 6/6 with Renown 6. This is going to get pretty interesting. No board presence on the other side, and he gets in there. And
bang,
the foil Colossus, I might add, gets Renown.
Look at Trent quickly go for the dice. That's now a 12-12. It's going to end this.
Oh, he draws his own Colossus.
Oh, wow!
Nice draw. Very nice.
He has to attack though, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's got
attack.
6.
Has to block, otherwise he's dead.
And a Leaf Gilder, just to short up the board. Not much Lewis could do there but block.
Yep. It's just got to continue to throw out blockers.
That's a game.
Doesn't get it.
Exciting finish to that game, so into game 2. But Trent's so far undefeated, 3 games for 3 wins. He's definitely liking the strength of the Colossus there, I think. So,
gives the double the fist to the camera. If anyone knows that old TV show, Double the Fist.
Oh yeah.
It was very, very funny.
There you go. They're just weighing out some sideboard options here. It'll be interesting to see if Lewis decides to change his deck out for a different deck. As we discussed earlier, he does have a secondary build. His pool was obviously pretty strong, so secondary build available to him at the moment.
And Blondie, yes, this is Origin's Seal. It's our pre-release here in Australia. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. It's a midnight pre-release. 2 types of Magic players, lands in front and normal people. I totally agree, totally agree. Lands at the back, people, lands at the back. How isn't it on the 11th? Well, it actually is the 11th here in Australia.
Yeah, midnight. Basically, now it's approaching, what is it, 2 a.m.? Yeah, it's actually 2 a.m. on the 11th here in Australia.
Yep. Yeah, he did top deck like a boss, didn't he? He top decked the one card a turn earlier.
And the right time as well.
Oh,
So,
absolutely.
As soon as the board cleared, the next draw, Colossus, and gets to renown it. Like, so lucky.
That was a 12-12 Colossus you had there. That was fantastic.
Renowned.
And he, like, if Lewis drew his a turn earlier,
Yeah.
you would have had 2 Colossuses on the board. Neither of them could really attack.
Yeah, it would have been pretty interesting.
Would have been absolutely mad.
But it's good to see Renowned having a bit of an impact already. And I think it will in the limited formats. Like, it definitely is an interesting mechanic.
Yep.
It can change strategy. I think it can change your strategy and your deck building quite significantly.
From what we've seen, Renowned does look really strong. Punching through that first creature, hitting the Renowned trigger, getting the bonus.
If you've got anything with evasion that features Renowned as well, or that you can give evasion,
Yep.
fantastic.
Now, it'll be interesting to see if Lewis here has changed decks from his Golgari deck to his Boris deck.
Yeah, I don't believe he has. Could be wrong, but I don't believe he has. I think he has stayed with the green black.
I hope he's changed though.
It would be great to see another option come in.
Yep. Keep the feedback coming on Twitch, guys. We certainly do appreciate it. And as we see it, we'll answer your questions and go from there. So we're back to 7 cards. Game 2. Trent on the right-hand side versus Lewis on the left-hand side with the Guff playmat. And once again, thanks to Guff.
He's stuck with the same deck.
So just before they get into this game, Wayne, what have you seen to be the strongest amongst colours so far in your opinion? I was leading red tonight for my colour seems strong. I think red is a strong limited colour.
Yeah, it's interesting. Getting around the tables, green-black seems to be... I had a quick look after we finished recording round 1, or covering round 1, and some of the games that are still going featured green-black decks, and they were able to clean up pretty nicely. I think the top end of green-black seems to be a bit better than anything else. So the finishing card, the cards you can finish games off with are a lot more effective in green decks. So, but I mean that's kind of an historical thing. Like green always has big creatures. So I haven't really seen any like blue-white flyers decks getting about. But in saying that, the next colour in line has definitely been white as well. I think in terms of what's getting played.
I also agree. White seems to be strong. It seems to have a lot of abilities to recycle cards in this particular format. Cohen, one of our grinder writers, really likes red, and he opened red tonight. Tomorrow I'll be playing green, and you like white.
Yeah, if I was going to get a chance to play, I would have chosen white, just for something different as well compared to everyone else.
I think personally though, blue is the weakest colour.
Yeah.
In the whole Origin set.
Okay.
So if you can cross one off your list, I think blue's probably the easiest to cross off. We get a good look at Trent's hand there as well.
He's got a leaf gilder, so he can get off to a nice early curve.
That's
and accelerate his mana.
Turn 2 leaf gilder into a turn 4 something else, or turn 3 something else.
Lewis has got his wolf on turn 2. It's funny because it's called a pack. I keep wanting to say pack rat, but I guess because you get another one, it gets bigger.
Yep.
So, but it's not quite pack rat.
It's the new pack rat. I like that.
I wouldn't say that.
No, it's not anywhere near that good. Reminds me of the cards that if they were in the graveyard,
Yeah, kind of.
like Muscle Burst, and those sorts of cards,
in a way, yeah.
but in reverse. And we've got a life total reset. Trent's put Lewis on the 1 life.
Okay. All right. And I believe that might be Nissa. I think Lewis has landed turn 3 Nissa.
Turn 3 Nissa gets the land out.
It's a bit bold because like just running it straight out there, it leaves it open to a bit of removal, and we know Trent's deck does feature a bit of removal. So he's just checking that out at the moment. Have a bit of rid of the card. First time we've seen Nissa on play on the camera, so that's exciting. Hopefully we get to see a flip and come into play as a Planeswalker. But I'd be really shocked if Nissa survived all that long.
Well, Nissa is only a 2/2.
And that's exactly right.
At this point,
Trent's already shown
shown he's got two of their Underworld enchantment, where he gives target creature neg 3, neg 2.
That's right. So you can easily take this
And
route.
saying that, his hand is stacked with green creatures at the moment, Trent. So whilst he can come out a bit bigger, I think that he might be hard pressed to actually remove Nissa at this stage.
Well, at this point in time, if you're Lewis, do you try to protect Nissa?
Protect the Queen, so to speak. Alright, so he's just played a Night Snare. So Night Snare, target opponent reveals his or her hand. You may choose a non-land card from it. If you do, that player discards that card. If you don't, that player discards 2 cards.
Huh.
Interesting.
Well, that's an interesting card, isn't it?
So you-
I don't think throughout all the stuff I've read, I don't think I've seen that. So you can choose a card, or
Yeah,
you can choose not to, and they then choose 2 cards.
Yeah, which is interesting. Given Trent's hand, he's got the spider again, and interesting. He's got 2 other creatures. Let's have a look at those. Let's see if I can work out what that other green creature is in the middle. Let's have a look at that. It's Guy's Revenge. Wow. So he's got Guy's Revenge, Spider, Land, and what's the black card?
I don't think it matters, does it?
Guy's Revenge hits the bin. So
Yeah.
a bit hard to deal with the 8/5. They can't be targeted by non-green spells.
Yeah, that's it.
So it's pretty handy. And
Well, the problem with green is there's very little green removal.
absolutely. I
in
mean,
this set.
you got fight, but that's not green. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not ideal.
Which is, where you look to your second colour, either red, black, white. White's got some great removal in it.
And this is getting in there. It's interesting.
So Lewis isn't sitting back and protecting Nissa.
Interesting. Well, I think that the one on the left, the black card on the left, is 3-1. So he's obviously offering a trade. So he's obviously not concerned about flipping Nissa at this particular stage. And I think he's just going to trade. Yeah, okay, interesting attack. Interesting attack. What's happening here? Okay.
That's the shaman.
Ability. Yeah, so that's interesting. He's basically 2-for-1 himself. I'm not sure if that was a good play or not.
No.
It seems like it was a bit too aggressive for my liking, considering the potential that he had and that he knew what Trent's hand was.
Yep. And Trent's just drawn the weight of the underworld.
Yeah. So I mean,
Going into
in
2. hindsight,
that's good. But now he's got no board.
Yep. Yeah, I'd agree with you. I don't particularly like that attack from Lewis.
Yeah.
The only thing I can think of was Lewis wanted to get really aggressive.
And here comes Colossus.
Alright, so
Alright, Trent untaps really quickly. What does he have? He drew Eyeblight Assassin, and he's drew the spell that he had earlier in his hand. Which was that one? We didn't quite establish what that card was. I think it was it Priest of Blood, right?
well, the weight of the underworld was what he cast to get rid of the other 2 too.
Yeah, that was previously. But this particular card here, I'm just trying to work out what that one is. Guildfleet Winnow?
Yep.
Is it?
So
yeah, I believe so.
I think Lewis's game plan was to try and wipe as much board as possible to get the Outland Colossus into play. We're attacking now. It can't be blocked by more than 1 creature. And we're looking at a 6/6 to become renowned to be a 12/12. So our life dice are just a little out of the photo. If we go to a 3rd game, we'll get that fixed up. But we've got the block by Trent, and now we've got the Elf Lord.
Was it definitely Guildfleet Winnow? Is that the card that he had just had in play? One that's in the graveyard now?
Certainly looks like it, yes.
Because it says when he enters the battlefield, you may destroy a target non-elf creature whose power and toughness aren't equal. Oh, that's why he couldn't hit the Colossus, because it's equal. Okay, fair enough. So he just has to trade, or not trade, but chump block really. And now he hasn't got a lot of options. He's got
We've got the assassin there taking out the Guilt Leaf.
no. It's going to do neg 1 to it.
Neg 1, neg 1.
At the moment, Trent's running into blockers, chump blockers. That's all he's going to have to do to try to stay in this match. Because that Colossus is just going to get out of hand. It just kills it. Well, there you go. Oh, it's neg 2, is it? And here we go. So what do we got happening here? And it looks like the Colossus is not getting run out just yet. Oh, look out. Oh, what we got here? So
Well, that's a spicy meatball, isn't it?
Trent got a bit of removal going here, so it's a touch of Moonglove. This is an interesting card. Target creature you control gets +1/+0 and gains Death Touch till end of turn. Whenever a creature is dealt damage by this turn, when that creature dies, its controller loses 2 life. So nice play by Trent, and got him back in the game.
I was actually looking at Trent's deck before round 1, and that was the one card that I pulled out going, I'd be playing this one.
Oh, there you go.
And he goes, yeah, it didn't make the cut. So I was actually really surprised to see it there.
Yeah.
So 17 versus 13, 19 versus 10.
10 now.
So our life totals. Now Lewis is certainly in charge here at this point.
Trent's a bit stuck on mana at the moment. I think he's got a couple of spells that are a bit more expensive in his hand. 6 mana spells, things like that. It's not. Well, and that's it. That's the game.
Decides to scoop that he's not going to come back from that one, and we get to go to game 3, which is fantastic. Looking at sideboarding again, Trent obviously bought in that touch of moon. What was it? Touch of moon love.
Glove, not
Moon
love.
glove.
Yeah, everyone loves a bit of moon love.
And that was obviously brought in to try and deal with some of Lewis's higher powered creatures.
Absolutely. I mean, the fact that he has Colossus, you've got to have an answer to it. And any opportunity to get a bit more removal is obviously a good thing.
I've got to say that as a hat wearer fan, pretty nice hat. We will let him know. He thinks it's pretty dope himself, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
Misplay on the elf. Yeah, we agree with that one as well.
Thought he could destroy the giant and its different power. He has as the same, but the card actually says, and I was thinking the same thing. But when that creature leaves play, it actually has to be different power, different to its toughness. It took me a couple of reads of it. So the card in question was Guiltleaf Winnower. So it says when Guiltleaf Winnower enters the battlefield, you may destroy target non-elf creature whose power and toughness aren't equal. So that being the key there. So obviously with the Colossus, we couldn't kill it. So that explains that one.
Yep. Now coming back to Cam said, he goes, I like white or green. They're the most consistent, and we're talking about colours here for Seal. My comment about green is throughout the entire set, it seems to me to be the colour with the least amount of cards that are bad in limited or sealed.
Yeah, I think it's probably close. Like, I think you've got a lot of playable cards, and again, like white has a lot of playables as well. But I think it's a good support color. Green can pretty much be paired with almost anything,
any other
really,
colour,
and make your deck a lot more stable.
I totally agree with you, Cam said, and I'm playing green tomorrow. So in the pre-release that I get to play in and not commentate. So
should be fun.
What do we got here? What are your thoughts on the future standard with the new integration of elves, goblins, soldiers, Thopter token-based deck?
Entertaining. We've seen it before. We've seen tribal decks be a thing in the past.
Absolutely.
And, look, while Rabble Master's around, it will be interesting. I think goblins will definitely be a real deck.
I think goblins and elves, you're going to see both played with collecting companies. So if you intend on playing elves and goblins, and you don't have collected companies, get them before they go up in price yet again.
The only thing I think was just touching on that with collected company. I mean, we'll get back into the game in just a moment, but if you haven't checked out the new Origins Clash packs, collected company, Dromoka's Command, Siege Rhino,
pick up 4 of those.
it looks pretty awesome actually. The decks look really fun.
The Clash packs look really, really good and totally worth your money.
Yeah, and Dave and I can vouch for this, but there's nothing more fun than getting some sealed packs or sealed decks together, having a few beers, getting some chips, just chilling out, having a few games of Magic with pre-constructed decks.
I bought chips tonight too.
they're just already pre-prepared and organised, so you don't have to worry about it. Just have a bit of fun. And that's what Magic's all about.
Yes, Clash packs equals grab 4 massive values. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's exactly right. There's some really good value cards in there right now, and a personal favourite of mine, Dromoka's Command, I think is going to rise in value.
All right, we'll get back to the game.
Indeed.
And we'll talk about soldiers and Thopters after the game, because
we'll see how we go. Right now, Lewis has got the 3/3 artifact in play. He just gains life when it dies. And I think he also has an imp in play, which is like a fetid imp.
And he hasn't changed decks. He's stuck with the Golgari deck again.
Yeah, so fetid imp in play. What else? And Trent's curved out pretty nicely himself. He's already got Colossus on turn 4.
Ooh.
So Leeds Guild are doing a lot of work.
This game could be over quickly.
But I mean, look, he's going to block. He's clearly going to block this turn.
Yep.
What is fetid imp as flying? Pay 1 black, gives it death touch. So Trent's going to want to get rid of that before he does anything.
Oh, absolutely.
And here comes one of the enchantments.
The Weight of the Underworld on the fetid imp.
Smart move means that the Colossus can get in. Well,
Oh, thinks about attacking with both.
it's a 5/5 with one black. He's got to worry about Moonglove,
Yep.
which is what he's got in his deck. But he just rocks it, cracks in.
Tries to punch the head, tries to get that guy on Renowned as quickly as possible. If he attacks with both and there's a trade for the other one, it means next turn there's nothing there in the way.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you definitely can't trade.
Yeah. Now Lewis has to find some sort of removal spell for that Colossus.
Okay. So he's got the artifact guy that he had out earlier. Let's have a look at that guy.
It's the Guardian Automation.
Yeah, so, that's the 3 life guy.
Yeah, that's a fine blocker.
The other one was the Guardian of Meletus. So there's the O6. Oh, that's the O6 with Defender.
Yeah.
Right.
Just
So I think he bought these in.
needs to pump that up just one, and then he can block the Colossus all day long.
Indeed. But it's an interesting choice. Like, it just doesn't really...
So here
So he trades... He's able to kill one of the guys and kills the assassin. Chunk blocks the Colossus. And then another assassin of Trent's takes care of the...
and Trent is curving out very nicely here.
I fed an imp of his own, I believe.
If Lewis can get rid of the Colossus, he's back in the game. If he can't, it's game over, and it's going to happen really quickly. There's the Thopter Foundry, though, I think. Again?
Well, it's not...
The Foundry of the Council, sorry.
Councils.
The Thopter Foundry, I've just given it a nickname.
No, I thought the Foundry is from a previous set.
There's 2 Thopters.
Dark Depths.
Blocking that Colossus, stopping that Renown, dropping Lewis down to 18, but, buying Lewis some turns.
Well, he doesn't have a lot of turns. Let's be honest about this. He's not. But he's got a few cards in hand, though. That's the thing. Like, he's not playing anything on his turn is very interesting. See, Trent has another removal spell in hand too.
Yep. So, do you play the removal spell, or do you just be patient at this point in time?
It's a tough call. I mean, there's no reason that you couldn't attack into it because the Thopter doesn't have any other effects. There are no other abilities on that token, so at this stage it's just a 1/1, and he will have to chump block.
Yep.
So unless he wants to clear him out, unless Lewis has a plan.
Well, there's the way to the underworld again.
And he also has the winnower in hand as well. So Trent's deck's actually really nice.
So he plays the patient game here.
Chump block happens, takes 3 or 4, takes 3, and draws no play. Interesting. It's interesting why he didn't play anything last turn if he didn't have a play that turn, if you know what I mean. 7/7.
That's gonna stop a Colossus.
Let's have a look.
It's the Mage Ring Responder. So 7 mana, it's a golem. Mage Ring Responder doesn't untap. 7 to untap it, and whenever it attacks, it deals 7 damage to target creature. So he can attack with that, doing 7 damage to the Colossus.
Yeah, the problem is though, if Trent just puts that enchantment on the card, it just shrinks it down, so it becomes effectively a 4/5. So he can't effectively block Colossus at the moment.
Yep.
It still deals 7 to it, but if he wants to keep it alive, he technically would have to block the Colossus still.
Yes, he
So
would.
therefore, to be able to kill it next turn. So it's not an effective. If Trent just attacks with Colossus, after playing the enchantment,
So
it's not an effective.
So Trent has to cast the Weight of the Underworld.
Yeah, if you cast
on
Weight of the
Mage Ring.
Underworld onto the responder,
Yep.
and then attacks with Colossus, there's no effective block.
It forces Lewis to block the Colossus.
Absolutely. I mean, he's still 1-for-1ing yourself if you're Trent. You're getting rid of his biggest guy, and you're keeping your 6/6 alive.
Sure. And we haven't seen any straight out creature kill from Lewis yet, have we?
Not really, no.
Just looking over his deck here, I can't see any straight out creature kill. I mean, he's got his own Weight of the Underworld in his deck list. He's got Languish.
Languish is neg 4, so that's a thing to be mindful of. If the board gets to a state where it's going to be relevant, but at this point in time, if that Colossus, like we said, if that Colossus stays in play, it's not even relevant. So right now, Trent's thinking about his lines, whether or not he's going to cast the winnower, or just to establish board presence, or actually get the enchantment into play.
No, I'm pretty sure we'll see the line of the Weight of the Underworld.
Here it goes.
Yeah.
All right. So given the basically the Colossus, the responder, neg 3, neg 2. as long as it's in play. And I think, here we go. As predicted, the attack with Colossus from Trent's side of things and the Putrid.
Yeah.
Does fed it side, not Putrid. My mistake.
So there's no good block here from
Well, he
Lewis.
can't block the flyer.
Yeah.
And he kind of has to block the Colossus. If he doesn't block the Colossus now, he can't kill it with the ability from the ringer anyway.
Yep.
So there's not a lot you can really do. With being tapped out, he's on what? I can't quite see what life he's on.
I think he's still relatively high on life.
Yeah, you might be right.
He's like 18.
Yeah.
Bit of a pause in the game why Lewis.
It's a situation.
Yeah. I mean, it's a tough call.
It is.
If you lose your majouring, you've probably lost the game. However, if you don't block, you've probably lost the game.
Indeed. Because there's no way you're coming back from 12-12 with no dedicated rule. There's nothing in his deck other than Death Touch, I would say, that would get him out of the situation that Colossus is 12-12.
And is his own Federative already dead?
Yes, I believe so, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, unless it was the last game. Can't quite recall. If you guys on the feed remember if Lewis on the left hand side had a Federative in play this game, that'd be fantastic.
So he's just trying to figure out how he can still survive in this sort of situation. He's got a land and something else in hand. Trying to see if we can see that Fetid Imp. I'm pretty sure it was the first card to die this turn because he had to kill it before he could attack with his Colossus.
Indeed. And Trent's got a follow-up play, which is the 2/2 for 2, which generates a 1/1 Elf Warrior token, and there's his proxy token that he made earlier.
Sure. And Lewis is down to 8 life here.
Just fantastic.
So, back to Lewis's turn. He gets to untap. He can attack with 7, doing 7 points of damage to something, but that's not going to really help him at this point in time. He does have the mana to untap the automation, so he can attack, deal 7 to something, untap. So he's going to attack with the trigger to kill the assassin, doing 7 damage to Trent. We've got a proper token in there now. And we believe Trent's now down to 12 life. He's got the mana to untap the Colossus, so he can certainly use that as a trick to, untap the majoring responder, so he can use that to block.
Oh, the winner.
Oh, there we go.
The winner was ability triggers because the Colossus had different power and toughness.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, the responder had different power and toughness due to the enchantment. That is the game.
That's the ball game. So 2-1 to Trent.
2-1 to Trent. Was it 2-1? Yeah, it was game 3, wasn't it? Yeah, that's right. Lewis took game 2 with his Colossus. So you see the powerful cards getting played here, guys. It's pretty interesting. You know, obviously, the commons and uncommons do their fair share of work, but sometimes rares are great.
Yep. And what we'll do is we'll try and get Lewis to come in and have a talk about that match. And we'll see how long there is to go in the round as well.
Yeah.
And try and get a bit of a conversation out of Lewis about where he felt he went wrong.
Yeah, maybe we'll have a bit of a chat about the modern format as well. It's obviously been something pretty relevant lately. And we'll talk about what other decks are and if there's any implications for Origins cards in modern at the moment.
So we'll be back shortly.
No worries. Thank you.
and I'm now here with Lewis, who unfortunately was the loser of that particular match, round 2.
No, it turns out Outland Colossus is a very good card.
Yeah, we were watching that, and you just drew your one a turn too late after Trent's became renowned.
Yeah, well, that's just what happens, I guess.
Yeah.
You can't really do much about that.
So, round 1, you lost to the Outland Colossus.
Yep.
There was a board state where neither of you had creatures. Trent top decked his,
Yep.
and you top decked yours, not the next turn, but the turn after
Yep.
his had gone renowned. Turn 2, game 2, you came back with a win. Tell us about that one.
Well, that one, look, Trent just had an awkward high-end draw. I was able to disrupt his hand with that new, I guess I'm going to call it the limited Thoughtseize or Mind Rot split
We
card.
thought that was really interesting. That you could choose one card, or they could choose 2.
Yeah, I actually feel, in retrospect, it might have been better to get him to discard 2 in that situation, because he had a lot of pricey cards in his hand, and
So either
he could have kept one gigantic thing, or discard the land, make it harder to cast them.
Yep.
But I didn't seem to make a difference in the match. But going back over that, I think I should have made the other decision.
Sure. And he seemed to get stuck on 4 land in that particular match.
I was just able to draw my bombs.
Sure.
That's the game.
Now, game 3, which is what it all came down to, there was a bit of Twitch talk on that with the play of attacking with Nissa. So take us back to that point in time where Trent had 2 creatures out, you had 2 creatures, one of them was Nissa. We actually thought that you should have sat back with Nissa and tried to protect her a little bit and try to get her to flip. You obviously thought different and thought attacking was the right move.
I was looking to clear the board.
Yeah.
I had some excess land in hand, so I could pitch one. I'm willing to accept that could have been a misplay.
Yep.
But going back over it, I'd probably make the same decision. Like I look at Nissa as a Borderland Ranger. Or a Woodland Elves or something that can get me card advantage in the early game, and if I've still got her in the late game,
If she happens to flip, that's
if
a
she
bonus.
happens to flip.
Sure. Now, the other thing is you've actually got 2 decks. You've got your Golgari deck, which we saw,
Yep.
and you've got a change-up deck, which is the Boris deck, which we didn't see.
Look, I felt that Boris deck would just be outmatched against Trent, so I didn't swap over.
Sure.
I think the Golgari is more of a mid-range deck. It's plays some control elements like Landwish and the what's that guy? Night Snare, which is the card I referenced earlier.
Yep. And you've got the Feathered Imp in there as well.
Yep. And that's sort of more of an all-round deck. But if I feel that my opponent's slow or is going to stumble a bit, I'm going to switch to Boris and
Sure.
try to get them.
Excellent. Why make the 2 decks?
To be honest, I've actually been stumbling upon this for a few pre-releases now. The last I guess 3 or 4 pre-releases. I'll build a deck, I'll play the first round with it, I'm sort of happy with it, sort of unhappy, and then I build a second deck and I just go from there, get decent results. It's more variety. You can sort of catch your opponent off guard on game 2. And look, if you feel that you have a good enough pool, you might as well.
Excellent. Well, there's only a few minutes to go in the round, so I'm going to put the back soon pop-up up, and we'll be back for round 3, which is our last round, very soon.
See you guys.
Round 3, the saga continues.
We've got Darren versus Ben in our next match.
Currently 2 players that are both 2-0 at the moment, so both going well. Unsure as to what they're playing. Do you have any heard any ideas of rumours about what these guys are up to?
I, to be honest, have absolutely no idea.
Very good. So we get to see some new cards hopefully.
Which would be really nice.
Indeed. So Darren is on the left and Ben is on the right with the MTG Grinders playmat.
Now, if you're just joining into the Twitch feed, this is round 3 of the Origins pre-release. The time is now 2:48 a.m, so almost 3 o'clock in the morning here in Victoria, Australia, and the magic starts pretty much right now.
And if you look down in the bottom left corner, you can see Darren rocking his freshly minted arm Joker tattoo. You can see it on the bicep, which is pretty good when you see it in the flesh.
Alrighty, so we're going to try and keep around an eye on our Twitch feed as well and answer as many questions as we possibly can. I think this is the last round. They're just doing 3 rounds here at the local shop tonight. Being a midnight pre-releases, they actually want people to come back tomorrow and play some more Magic.
Indeed.
So we think it's only 3 rounds. There's no top 8s. The prizes here tonight are you just get 2 packets for a win.
Yeah.
And
just like general pre-release kind of things, you get boosters for every round win, I think.
yeah. So that's what's happening here tonight. Let's see what we've got. We've got another green-white on the right with Ben. And I didn't see what Darren had.
Yeah, I've got a feeling he might be green-black as well, like previous decks that we've seen.
I mean, it really feels like green is the colour of choice.
Yeah, definitely a lot of players are going with it.
A lot of players are winning with it.
Well, that's a very good point.
Really feels like that's the colour of choice.
Cohen, who we spoke to before, who's playing red-white, he's also 2-0.
Yep.
He's actually playing against Trent now, actually, at the moment. So it'll be interesting to see what the result is of that match.
So Trent, we've seen the last 2 rounds, and
Yeah.
he's 2-0. Cohen, we interviewed him before the round started.
Yeah.
And he's came up as 2-0. Darren's on a double mulligan here. Now, if you guys just coming into the Twitch stream, we're not doing the mulligan scry rule. That does not apply to this event or any pre-release event. It only applies to the next Pro Tour. Is
Yeah, I
it?
believe so.
So that doesn't apply if you're just wondering.
Yeah. So it looks like Ben's happy with his hand. He's got the 6-drop spider in there, green-white. He's got Blessed Spirits. Didn't see many land though, so interesting key. We'll see what he's got in the back here. I think he's got a forest and a plain. So we'll be interesting to see how this ends up for him. Doesn't have a leaf gilder for turn 2, and it looks like Darren's got a 1 lander for his 5, so it's not great. He's just pondering what he's going to do at the moment.
You know, do you go down to 4?
It's pretty rough.
It's pretty rough. Do you keep the 1 land? Game could be over quickly.
Yeah. I mean, saying that, Ben does only have 2 land himself, so is it... Oh, he goes to 4. So.
Goes to 4. Would have picked up a land on turn 2.
Yeah, another forest. Another plain, sorry. So 2 plains, they might not have been able to get there anyway. So.
And this is where the scry rule really would have helped.
That's right. If there's anyone out there at Wizards of the Coast watching this, then you're going to see that this mulligan at a pre-release could have been a little bit better.
It would have allowed him.
He's got 1 land out of the 2 cards, 2 land,
2 land.
and
That's a
2 white,
keeper.
and 2 white spells. So
2 land, 2 white spells. That's a keeper.
snap keep. All right, and we'll see if his mulligan pays off. And a 3rd land. So
And we're coming out with Zendika land too. He's
Yep.
bought his own land to the pre-release.
there you go. No 2-drop and no 3rd land so far for Ben. So interesting keep. So it'd be interesting to see how this works out. So still no 3rd land, and he didn't mulligan. So it's amazing how that works out in Magic. So
Yeah.
let's see if he has a play. He could play the Spirits. Oh no, he discards the Spirits. Interesting, because it's only a 3-drop.
It's only a 3-drop.
So meanwhile,
Darren comes out with a 4th land.
he's got a 2-drop though. So he runs him out, 2 white. Let's have a look and see what he's got here.
And the 4th land is the Foundry, so he can make some Thopters a little later in the game.
Indeed. So we saw that in the previous match, and it did a fair bit of work for Lewis. So I think it'll be interesting to see how it goes here. All right. Obviously, a different build for Darren. So
And we're just trying to find the cards that have been played here for you guys. Now, on the right, we've got Valorant Wardens, which I don't think we've seen yet tonight. It's a 1-3 for 1 green and 2 with Renown 2.
And on Darren's side, he's quite good. This Console's Lieutenant, actually, is 2-drop 2-1 first striker with Renown 1. And when it attacks, if it's a Renowned, other attacking creatures, you can try to get +1/+1 till the end of turn. So he's now Renowned.
Excellent.
It's fantastic. So
Needs to get some other dudes out to start building a farm.
to get the benefit of that. Alright, and looks like Bonds is coming out here to... so they each played a bond of their own, it looks like. Let's have a quick look at this card here. So, basically controlling the other opponent. So not suppression bonds, I don't think, because it's only 2 mana. Is it 2 mana?
Yeah, no, it's suppression
It
bonds.
is suppression bonds? There you go.
So just tying down the other person's creature.
Yeah.
And
Darren's played... Okay, so a bit of an interesting play. Darren's played Knightly Valor, enchanting the creature just to get the 2/2.
Yeah.
So that's quite interesting. I suppose you do what you can with what you got, and see what can happen. So at the moment, we've got 2/2, and we've got facing off against Ben's creature at the moment, which is just have to confirm what that one is. It's not Nissa, is it?
no, it's not Nissa.
Okay, no, it's Freaker's Disciple.
So it's the 2/3 Death Touch. So a nice body there. It's got Renown 1 as well, so if it doesn't get blocked, because it's got Death Touch, it gets a boost.
Yeah, so meanwhile, Darren's been able to land a black spell finally, so he does have 2 colours in his deck. It's the first black spell we've seen from Darren at the moment, and just confirm this one, because this one's also generated a token when it comes into play, so we'll just confirm what that is.
Is that the 5/5 Demon token? Yes, that is.
That's very exciting.
That is Priest of the Blood Rites.
There we go. So when Priest of the Blood Rite enters the battlefield, put a 5/5 black demon creature with token with flying into the battlefield. At the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 2 lives. So no cards in hand. It's kind of all in.
That's it. But with the 5/5 flyer, you sort of can be all in.
Absolutely. It's got the 2/2, the 2/2s on the ground to block.
Yep.
And all Ben's got on the back is the Leaf Gilder, so not really a good comeback. So let's see, hopefully for Darren's sake, hopefully Ben doesn't have a flare or anything like that.
So during Darren's upkeep, he drops to 16, taking the 2 life from the Priest of the Blood Rites.
Absolutely, and gets in there for 5. He's tackling with everything. Interesting. He's only got the 1/2 to stop it, so might as well. It seems like a good attack.
No, he's certainly keeping the faith in the Priest of the Blood Rite there.
Yeah, it's important to keep the faith.
Yeah. Sticking to his guns.
That's it. Okay.
The Leaf Gilder does allow Ben to ramp into something though a little more if he wants to, or make a double play.
Okay, so looks like he's gonna block and see what he's got here. Alright, so Titanic Growth on the Gilder to chump block to block and basically kill the token.
Yep.
So he's gonna take out the token and he'll keep his mana producer. And actually it might trade. It's +4/+0, isn't it?
No, it's +4/+4.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
Titanic. Sorry, you're right.
Makes it huge.
Indeed.
And the Disciple also has become renowned in the meantime.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that Disciple is now a 3/4 Death Toucher. But his biggest problem is the 5/5 flyer.
Yeah.
At this point in time. It's a 3-turn clock with him being on 11 life.
Yeah, I think he's had. Look, Ben has got a fistful of cards, and he's got as part of those cards is a 6/6 with reach.
Yep.
So it looks like he's got the mana now. So yeah, he's got 6 mana, including the console. It seems like the logical play would have been to play the Spider here, and this has got an instant spell that he can play, which doesn't look like it does.
The Spider's huge.
Yeah, I think the 6/6 Spider is the right play here.
You got to try and stem that bleeding, but it doesn't look like he's going to. He's going for something else. And even Darren's got to have a read of this one. Trying to find it for you guys. Let us know in the Twitch feed.
Oh, that's I think that's that could just be force mage. It's force mage. Yeah, we saw that before. It comes into play, gives target creature +2/+2.
Yep.
Turn to turn. So interesting choice.
Well, maybe he's doing the damage race instead.
Yeah.
Instead of preventing it, he's going for the damage. He's going for the damage. Darren's made some Thopters now.
So he's got 3, 4, 5, 6 damage on the board,
Yep.
and Darren's on 7.
And Darren's losing 2 life a turn as well.
Yeah, true. So he's down to 7. His opponent has 6 damage in play. He's got to attack with the flyers.
It's Force Mage. Yep, excellent. Thanks very much.
Yeah.
And I really didn't mean that sarcastically, even though it sounded like it. So I apologise there. But yeah, he's definitely going for the damage race here. So Darren comes in with a Thopter and the Demon.
Yeah, so it makes it a 2-turn clock now. So one more turn after this, and effectively Darren has him. But it'll be interesting to see what the crackback does. Darren can't drop to can't take 5 damage this turn basically.
Yep. Now Ben's not actually on 11. He's on.
No, he's just taking 6.
He's just taking 6, so he's actually on 5. So the life total is at Darren on the left at 7, Ben on the right at 5. And we know Ben does have that spider as well that he can possibly cast.
Yeah, it's got reach. I don't know if he's picked it up or not. The spider actually has reach. He's thinking about it at the moment, but it seems to be a logical play right now.
Yes, exactly. The chat delay doesn't really help, but actually it sort of does help us. So keep typing it in there. And also it knows that we know you guys are listening. So Ben comes out, taps down one of the 2 remaining creatures.
And he gets in there with the 3 attacks. So he's got what's that? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
7, so that's...
He has to block, so takes 4. So he didn't play the spider again. I don't know why that was the thing. I think he's just costing the game by not playing the spider. Because now he's got no...
No, we've got...
Oh, he's got a pop spell. Let's see if that's game. And...
Yep, that's game. Game 1 to Ben.
Okay, interesting. You should see what that last spell is that he played. Appeared to be only for 1 white.
So it shouldn't be too hard to find for us.
Indeed.
And it's not a yoked ox.
Indeed, definitely not a yoked ox. Okay, Scott. So Enshrouding Mist.
No, it's not that one.
Enshrouding Mist?
That prevents damage.
Target creature gets +1/+1. Prevent all damage to it.
Oh, could be.
Dealt 2 and... Does it say dealt 2 and dealt by?
Dealt to it.
No, it's probably what it was. Because you only needed to get that 1 more point in. So it was an instant speed, 1 mana, 1 white mana instant. So I can't see any other spells that would have been.
No, it would have had to be.
Yeah. So there you go. So Enshrouding Mist.
Enshrouding Mist got the 1 extra damage through.
Yeah. So nice play by Ben in the end. It was a pretty close race actually. So it was good to see some different cards being played.
Now we were meant to come back. See, it was Enshrouding Mist. We were meant to come back to a question we got asked earlier on the Twitch chat. Do we think soldiers or Thopters are going to be a thing in Standard, Wayne?
I'm not too sure. But Thopter's got some possibility. White Weenie decks are definitely, I think White Weenie decks in general are an option. There are some token generators. Raise the Alarm is still in the format, and I think Secure the Way to make soldier tokens as well.
So we're talking the Gideon soldier.
Yeah, Consul's Lieutenant is a soldier. So it's a 2/1. We saw Darren have that. So it's a 2/1 with Renown 1 first strike.
Yep.
If we look at some of the other cheap creatures from the set, I think we might find that Knight of the Metagrain I'm pretty sure he's a soldier as well, but it could just be a knight. Human knight. Okay. So it's going to be interesting to see whether or not it's a big impact from Origins. But like Gideon is a soldier, I suppose. Kythion is a soldier. But yeah. It's tough to say.
And Darren goes for a mulligan as well, so whilst he mulligans...
Well, Darren nearly pulled that off. Speaking of which, he nearly pulled that off from mulligans of 4.
He did.
Yeah, he did very well.
Do you think blue-red Thopters is going to be a thing in Standard. A lot of people are thinking Ghostfire Blade, you've got Solar Artifact, Shrapnel Blast, whilst those cards are still around.
Yeah, look, it's not out of the question. People like to play decks that are a little bit different. So it's if they can find the right combinations of cards, then I'm sure it'll pop up here and there.
It's worth playtesting.
Absolutely.
One quick question from the chat. So which colour so far has been the best? White with a question mark. I'd have to say green has been the best. It's been the most solid colour.
Yeah.
And you can splash just about any other colour with it.
Yeah, agreed. Look, most of the decks that have currently been 2-0 have featured green.
White has certainly been no slouch though.
No, it's definitely pulling up some good numbers as well. Both these guys, obviously, we got green and we got white. We got white in both of these decks, and these guys are both 2-0. If we look at the other players that we've had that are 2-0 that are out around the tables, green's definitely heavily featured.
Yeah, and as is white, I suppose, as well. Cohen, who we mentioned earlier, is playing red-white.
Yeah.
So, yeah, white, green, probably at this point in time seem to me to be the strongest colours.
Yeah.
Within, after that, probably black, then red. Blue is just awful, I think.
Artifacts are probably better. I've seen every Planeswalker getting around that, which is exciting. You know, every single Planeswalker has seen some action today. Okay, so it looks like he's got the Lieutenant up straight away. Turn 2, the Consul's Lieutenant again, straight away into play, the 2-1 first striker. Much better start than last game for Darren, so he immediately renowned him, so it becomes a 3-2 first striker.
That's a fantastic 2-drop in Limited.
Absolutely.
It really is. So, because it's got first strike, so it's probably going to get through. It's not going to trade, and then it goes up to a 3-2 first striker.
And its secondary ability is if it's a renowned, all other creatures attacking get +1/+1. So quite a useful guy. Darren had no follow-up play for his turn 3, but he's now hit his 4th land, so we'll see what he's got here.
And Ben is coming out with the Valorant Wardens, which is the 1/3 with Renown 2.
Yeah, which is not going to do too much right at the moment, but I don't think he's going to block actually. So we should see what happens here.
Now, blocking isn't very advantageous at this point in time for him.
Darren, another player that's also playing with lands above his cards. So all right, so we've got Charging Griffin that's coming to play. 2/2 fly for 4. Whenever Charging Griffin attacks, gets +1/+1 till the end of turn.
And Darren didn't attack because he doesn't want.
Just worried about a removal spell, maybe, or something to tap. See, if Ben has something to tap down his one remaining creature, the other guy gets renowned, draws a card, So
I can't understand not attacking it. I think attacking was the right move.
It's a very safe play because, as I said,
the Charging Griffin
so he's getting
bounces the Valorant Wardens.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens there. He left these 2 guys back for a reason. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, and we know Ben's playing Titanic Growth. We also know he's playing Enshrouding Mists as well. So this is an interesting attack.
And what's he going to do? He was almost going to play Bond. He looks like on his own creature then. He's just rethinking his lines here. So they just blocked. So Darren blocked with his Griffin, and he just let combat damage go.
Yeah.
So second main.
Screwing bonds.
Yeah, bit of a strange play, but I guess he
wanted to see if he could get the Renown through, I suppose, draw a card, and then weigh his options up from there.
Indeed, Darren gets in for 3 and the hit back. And a bit of removal. So
takes out the creature.
Indeed.
And Ben's still got a fistful of cards though.
Absolutely.
And we've got a multicoloured card in there. It's the Citadel Castellan, which is 1 green, 1 white, 1 other for a 2/3 Vigilance with Renown 2. So that's a solid play. One of my favourite flavour texts in the set on that particular card.
Yeah.
Yep. I am the first line of defence. You will. What is it? You will not encounter the second.
Yeah, it's nice.
Quite like it. I quite like it.
I like that actually on Charging Griffin. Charging Griffin's flavor text is pretty cool as well. It's 4 claws, 2 wings, 1 beak, no fear.
Yeah, nice. And we've got another suppression bonds.
It seems to be a very popular card.
Well, it's white removal, essentially, so...
One card we haven't seen actually in play is the Hixus Prison Warden. So that was one of the cards that was a promo.
Yep.
Someone sort of did get it as a promo, but haven't seen that actually in play yet. So it'd be interesting to see how that's been going.
And the Citadel Castellan comes in, Vigilance, it's now Renowned, and it's now a 4/5.
Wow.
So that's... The Renowned 2 is huge on that card. You're
Yeah.
paying 3 mana for a 4/5.
And Vigilance as well.
With Vigilance. That can block a Siege Rider. That's how big that thing is now. For 3 mana, not bad. And the Blessed Spirits comes out by Darren.
That's pretty good.
Which should allow him to get a bit of damage through if he so desires, as it's got flying. And
Gets in for 2.
gets in for a nice 2 damage there. If Darren casts any enchantments, those Blessed Spirits will get a little bigger. So back to Ben's turn now, after Darren does a follow-up play. Looks like Ben's got a Thoptermaker of his own. So he can sacrifice that, I think, pretty much immediately if he wants to block those Blessed Spirits. And comes in with both creatures. Now that's the Death Touch Renowned 2/3.
Yeah, so it looks like here you go, Darren's blocking, he's paying 3. What's the 3 for? It might just been in previous turns, it's just moving
Yep.
out of the way.
And
So,
uses the first strike.
attempts to, but it looks like Ben has a trick, so...
Yep. So that's pretty good by Ben.
And Ben finally decides to play the Spider, so it's a pretty good turn for Ben. He got in some damage, he was able to take care of one of Darren's creatures and also play the Spider, so good use of his turn there.
Very good use of his turn, actually. And he's still got that Thoptermaker if he wants it in backup.
Indeed.
Life totals of 14 for Darren, 10 for Ben. This is game 2 of 3. Hopefully we'll get 3 out of it, which will be nice. Ben won game 1. So ships it back to Darren.
Yeah, so again, it looks like Green's just got that little bit of extra beef to it. You know,
Well,
like,
the fact that there's a green creature out there with Death Touch, you don't have to splash into black for that.
these 2 guys that are 4, 5, and 6 have Vigilance.
Yep.
Green doesn't often come with Vigilance.
Green's got really solid mid-range, and it's got a fantastic top end to it. And so dropping Darren down to 6. With that Spider out, blocking the Blessed Spirits, this game could be over really, really soon.
Yeah.
What's the stats on the Spider again?
6/6 with Reach and Vigilance.
So it's not getting any bigger like the Colossus. But
It's doing pretty good.
a 6/6 for 6 with Vigilance and Reach is no slouch and limited. And Ben follows up with the Blessed Spirits of his own. Darren's actually on the 8.
I didn't realise Darren actually has Kytheon in play. Gideon. He's conceded.
He's conceded. There's the handshake. So that's round 3 over, ladies and gents. We will just figure out quickly, we'll pause it, we'll figure out quickly if there is a round 4 at all. If there is, and we'll come back and tell you pretty much within the next 2 minutes. So hang on with us and we'll tell you whether we've got another round for you or not, and we'll go from there.
guys, we're back. Thanks for tuning in. It's been fun. Looks like there's only 3 rounds tonight, so that's pretty much going to be the end of the magic. However,
it is 3:15 in the morning here,
Yes.
so we're pretty much ready for bed anyway. We'd like to thank Guff, Tesoro, Brian Kibler, and Brian David Marshall, BM, for retweeting us. So thanks very much. I appreciate those. At Top 8 Games, we've had 38 players here for the first Bendigo Guff pre-release, which is fantastic for a midnight pre-release.
absolutely.
And we've got another stream, don't we?
Yeah, 7 o'clock tomorrow night. So 7 o'clock Australian Eastern Standard Time in the evening. We'll be back here. So what's that? From now, how many hours is that, Dave?
Well, 7 p.m. Melbourne time, if anyone wants to look it up.
Another 16 or so hours from now.
We'll put it on our Facebook page. If you haven't already, like the MTG Grinders Facebook page.
That's right. Check out our articles.
Yep, we're on WordPress, also YouTube, and now apparently on Twitch.
Indeed.
Anyway, thanks for joining us, guys.
See you later. Thank you.
See ya.